at cdc.gov/stop-overdose.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from refilings.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner looking at a gorgeous afternoon out there. High in the upper 60s with sunshine, and it's not as windy as yesterday, but we'll see some gusts up to around 20 miles per hour. Colder tonight. We'll drop down to around 40 in the Triangle. And just west of Raleigh, there's a frost advisory with temperatures dipping into the mid to upper 30s. Tomorrow's a sunny day with a high of 70 degrees.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 782 points to 39,586. Market update brought to you by Lufthansa. Lufthansa is excited to take off from Raleigh Durham International Airport, connecting you to destinations like Germany, Italy, India, and beyond. Say yes to incredible adventures. Book today at Lufthansa.com.
Back to the left point, Orlov. Now Chatfield shot, he scores! Now back out in front, they'll score! Oh, to Jarvis, centering it out in 10 for Jarvis. Back to Blake, he scores! Jankowski in the slot, he scores! Stahl's got to step on Schneider. Stahl coming in, and he scores! Aho back to Burns, Jarvis. Canes need a shot. Aho gets it, he scores! On the power play!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox producing the show. It is a hockey night in Carolina. Technically, it is a hockey night in Carolina, meaning the Canes are playing tonight at Montreal.
People wearing Canes uniforms and Canes sweaters will be playing hockey tonight.
Years from now, when we check what was their record back in that one year? This one counts, so it counts. With a little bit of context, it's what Dennis said. It's people wearing Canes uniforms, wearing their sweater, although it may not be the Canes we're used to seeing. Skyler Brind'Amour called up. That one's pretty cool. You know who's the real, I don't want to call him a loser in all of this, but you know who really wishes that, like, the Canes trotted out all of their best players? Columbus. Because Montreal is in a fight for a playoff spot, and Columbus has been trying to track them down and has been doing a pretty good job of it, right? Columbus has been chasing them down, going on this run, and it has turned tonight essentially into a playoff game for the Canadiens. And the Canes are rolling out AHL players to rightfully and intelligently save their main contributors' legs, let them get some rest, save their health going into the postseason. Not a great equation for winning the game traditionally. And by the way, I'm not placing blame on anyone. It's just a real bummer for Columbus that the Canes aren't going to roll out their regular lineup in order to help them out.
If Montreal gets a point tonight, in any way, shape, or form, just 1 point, they clinch that final wild card spot.
Don Waddell's like, really? Really?
Can you do me a solid, guys?
Come on, man. For those of you wondering, here were those that were not on the ice for Canes morning skate this morning in Montreal. Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, Jackson Blake, there's the top line, Jalen Chatfield, Jacob Slavin, Jordan Martinook, Jordan Stahl. In no particular order, just throwing out names. They will not be expected to suit up tonight, which means you're going to get to see Carrier, Brind'Amour, Stankoven line, most likely. Actually, I don't even know if it's most likely because in this situation, perhaps, the lines at morning skate may have just been that, lines at morning skate, and they're going to shuffle them up by the time the official roster gets released.
11 forward, 7 defensemen.
Yeah, it's one of those days where I wouldn't be surprised to see darn near any combination out there, and that makes it seem so arbitrary, right? It makes it seem so fairy dust, right? Just gone with the wind. You're going to play a game. It's going to be done. It's going to be over. I'm not sure it's that, and it's darn sure not that for Montreal. Rod Brind'Amour talked to the media, and he understands what's at stake for the team they're playing tonight.
We're at different spots, right? Like the game doesn't mean anything for us as far as where we're going to fit, but it means a lot to certain guys in that room, and so that's important. We want to give our best effort, and that's what we want to do every night. Obviously, we know what's coming at us. We know that they have to win to they don't have to, but I know the mindset is going to be they have to win. So we expect their best, and it doesn't matter who's in our line or not. Like I expect the best from our guys.
The cool part is when you bring up the AHL guys, they're not going to be playing like this is a game that doesn't matter. Right, Bradley Nadau, who did get a cup of coffee at the very end of last season in a similar situation, then went to the AHL and just scored goals, gets the opportunity to come up and show where he fits in the future of the franchise, right? Put another, just reminder of, hey, I'm pretty good at this thing. Brind'Amour, again, speaking with the media, talked about the growth of Bradley Nadau this season, of which he spent darn near all of it at the AHL level.
One of our, if not our top prospect, really. He's put in a bunch of goals. That's what we, thought he could do. And I think he started out a little bit slow in the minors, but all of a sudden it was like it took a little time, and then all of a sudden the light bulb went off, and you just see confidence growing. And so that's a kid that we definitely have pegged for the future to be someone special. And I know he's really excited. I know like you said, he played last year, but. This one is a little different.
A little different, a little better, a little more used to the system. He had just finished up a college season last year.
Yeah, literally.
Now he's a little bit more established, had a year in a professional weight room. I'm excited to see Nadau.
Rod did say as well that his parents, Bradley Nadau's parents, they weren't able to make – his family wasn't able to make the game last year that he played in.
Okay.
So his family's going to be there in Montreal tonight. So they got a little bit added, a little bit more special. Family actually gets to see him play in the NHL for the first time.
Sentimentality, little sentimental feeling. Bradley Nadau, for the future of the franchise, his skill set does fit with what they need. They need, for lack of a better term, snipers. They need goal scorers. They need guys that want to finish great setups, right? At times in this year, and it hasn't been as of late as noticeable, but at times this year it felt like everybody was looking to like they had a whole bunch of like John Stocktons and no Karl Malones. Everybody wanted to set them up, right? There was like, great pass. Oh, even better pass. Oh, they make the extra pass. And I'm going like, somebody shoot. Bradley Nadau will get pucks on net, which I really like about him as a prospect. If you remember at the beginning of the year, when we're talking going into the first game, I said it a whole bunch of times, I wanted a rookie in the opening day lineup, and it was Felix Ungersoren, Bradley Nadau, or Jackson Blake. It ended up being Jackson Blake, and he's played exceptional this year. So I liked the decision. But Bradley Nadau, I believe, was right there, right? It could have come down, he could be Jackson Blake if he just had a little bit more of a hot streak in the preseason. I'm not willing to say that would have happened, but he was knocking on the door there. As far as the guys that we do know, meaning that we've been aware of all year and seen, Kotkaniemi expected back in the lineup, as is Gostisbehere, which is nice. Two guys that have been missing time with some ouchies. The first line tonight, Dennis, I know you brought it up, Svech, Kotkaniemi, Hall. That's one that, there's a lot of lines that there's no chance we're going to see in the postseason heading out there, right? Like Carrier centered by Brind'Amour with Stankoven on the other side. We're not going to see that in the postseason. But Svech, Kotkaniemi, and Hall, if that works out, that could work out, and that could be one of your lineups that you're expecting to score and play a big role in the postseason. So it's not completely a throwaway game.
That should be your number 2 line in the postseason, behind Aho, Blake, and Jarvis. And that should be your second line.
And that's your second line has to produce in the postseason. Your second line can't be we hope they do this, right? Leave that to Jankowski, Robinson, whoever's. That's a we hope line. The Kotkaniemi, Hall, and Svech line would have to score. So whatever they can do to drum up some momentum tonight, even in a game that seems like it means nothing to the Canes, I think matters, right? Like Aho, Jarvis, they've been buzzing. You're good there. This line needs to get buzzing. And then lastly, Kochekhov's in net. Anything you can do to get that guy's confidence up, anything you can do to get him back into a rhythm. Again, who cares if the game matters in the standings or not? Who cares if it matters for home ice? Who cares if it matters for who you're going to play or what seeding? If Kochetkov gets something going in the right direction, I think that's big. No guarantees you're going to need him in the postseason, right? I think we can all agree that it looks like it's going to be Freddie Anderson's net first and foremost. But if you do, if there is an injury, if there is an overwork situation, if Freddie does struggle, any kind of confidence you can grab for Kochetkov now is worth its weight in gold if you do need him a week from now. And it is that soon. It's games start here either Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, I know.
It's.
Can we get there?
Well, we can say next week and be like, you could be into the teeth of the series by this time next week. You could be 2 games in already or looking right at the second game. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a legend, an iconic figure of my college experience. Used to watch him every single Sunday with my teammates. Jeremy Piven, Ari Gold, and Entourage, so many iconic movies. Will be joining the show. He's coming to the area to do some stand-up early next month. He's going to be joining the show. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I want you to right, hey, let's be real. Some tax returns might be coming in. You might have a dream watch that you've been eyeing for a long time. Go check it out at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Before you drop the tax return on a pre-owned or vintage Rolex or on a Glasutte or an Omega, go see what it feels like on your wrist. They have them all at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Darn near every watch you could imagine. The selection is incredible. So what I want you to do is go to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically their Fox and Bailey watch shop, which is located inside their Village District location in Raleigh. Their locations spread out all over the triangle, but if you're talking watches, you want to go to the Village District location because they have the Fox and Bailey watch shop. They have the Omega boutique. It is a unbelievable selection of watches, and let's be real. Some of them are pretty expensive. If you're going to make that kind of investment, you want to see what it feels like on your watch first. They can help you out with that, answer all of your questions. Blancpain, Hamilton's, Norcane's, the run of brands is insane. So go ahead and check them out. Let them know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Jeremy Piven from Entourage, Serendipity, Old School, amongst many others, joins the show next. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
A record in sports that would be a big deal if it was broken and we'd all be in on it is 100 points in a game in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, big time.
If I told you within the next 20 years in the NBA, somebody would score 101 points in one game.
I could see it. Couldn't you see a team just waving the white flag and another team taking advantage of that?
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate lovers are going absolutely bananas over our new Bluebell Banana Fudge. Rich milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a scrumptious banana-flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar, now in a carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Walmart Supercenters and Walmart Neighborhood Markets.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I ordered the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Get your faves for less. Buy a sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.50 at any size Sprite for $1.49. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Tired of hearing this from your local tire place?
Sorry, we can't fix it. Take it to Dauntless.
This year, skip the middleman and take your car straight to Dauntless Transmissions if you want quality work done right the first time. Transmissions, engine, or brake work, or just a regular tune-up. If it's broke, Dauntless will fix it. For quality work done with the kind of experience that works for you, take it to Dauntless Transmissions first. Go to DauntlessTransmissions.com to book your visit today. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQ Bar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text EAT to 64,000. That's EAT to 64,000.
Interest rates have plummeted. It's time to call Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. If you're looking to get cash out of your home equity, refinance out of a high rate, or do a home improvement project, Loan Pronto can make it happen in a matter of days. Take advantage of this opportunity and get tens or even hundreds of thousands out of your home equity. Pay off all your credit cards. Pay off your car loans. The average homeowner cuts their monthly bills by $1,000. Get more info at loanpronto.com. Inflation and higher costs have put a lot of people in a stressful financial situation. But if you own a home, there's a way out. Loan Pronto has multiple options that can help you get the financial freedom you deserve. Most homeowners get their cash in less than 2 weeks, and most don't even need an appraisal. Do the smart thing. Stop paying insane rates on those credit cards. Wipe them all out. Get a lower mortgage rate. Get some money for that home improvement project. It all starts by getting in contact with the experts at this, Loan Pronto. LoanPronto.com or call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm really looking forward to this next conversation. He is an icon. Jeremy Piven joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. You'll recognize him from Entourage, movies like Serendipity, Sweetwater. He did the sports movie thing, went basketball with us for a second. I'm a big fan of The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard. If you haven't seen it, you should. And Old School amongst many others. Jeremy, appreciate you for joining us. I know that your stand-up tour, your national stand-up tour is coming to the Raleigh Improv in Cary May 2nd and 3rd, so everybody get ready for that. And the performance, your next film, going to be released later this year, produced and starred. Jeremy, thank you for taking the time. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see him joining us as well.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I know you're a Chicago guy. Are you sweating out the play-in game tonight? The Bulls are taking on the Heat, I believe, up there in Chicago?
I'm not sweating this one. I think if you look realistically at these matchups, I don't know. I'm just some random actor stand up, but the Bulls they look great right now, and I think they're overlooked, and they're surging. They look great. People have counted out guys like Josh Giddey, who basically is throwing it in from half court at the buzzer next to LeBron. And, the Heat gave away Jimmy Butler, and playoff Jimmy proved himself last night, as we all know. You can never count off playoff Jimmy. And the God bless the Heat. And ironically, I'm in Miami right now. So anyone seeing this will... I mean, it looks like I'm in the witness protection program right now, so I apologize for the visuals. But apparently, radio is now TV, so I have to be TV ready for radio.
We appreciate you for jumping on, regardless of like you said, the witness protection, like Blair Witch Project vibes we're getting. But as the like the film guy, right? You know that it's in now, right? The shaky cam and everything. That's what people are going for. Jeremy, I have to ask, just because I've listened to a couple of podcasts featuring yourself recently, and talking Bulls. You were running around Chicago during kind of the heyday of the Bulls, crisscrossed with Jordan a few times. Do you have some a story or two you could pass along to what it was like being kind of in that orbit at that time?
I was a young stage actor in Chicago, and yet they all treated me well, and that's a tribute to them and who Chicago is. Nowadays it's who's hot, how you treat people, how you make people feel. For the past 4 years, feelings have dominated, and it's all been about feelings. And back then, it was a really strange time, and it was more about what you contribute, and then whatever you contribute is valued. And now it's if you've got some TikTok followers and you're adorable, then everybody wins.
Well, I mean, the social media please subscribe to our YouTube is how I'll follow that up. We need more.
Oh man, I'm only here to help you with your YouTube followers.
Hey, I very much appreciate that.
Oh, that's it. That's the only reason. Wait, no, I'm going to be also at the Raleigh Improv. That's right.
There you go. Improv.com/Raleigh for tickets. For his entire stand-up tour run, you can check jeremy-piven.com for the schedule. When it comes to like what you can bring, I'm interested on this. Because if you're in the orbit of Jordan, you know the competitive ridiculousness, the legend that has become. But one of my favorite kind of appearances of yours, and my wife and her friends quote it constantly, is Rush Hour 2, where you're in the movie for a short amount of time, but you steal a scene with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, two legends. Is there a competitive streak there where you're jumping in and going like, hey, if I only have this many lines, or if I only have this many minutes on screen, like I'm gonna get my shots up. I'm gonna make sure my points per game are high.
Yeah, I'll just be honest with you. That's just who I am. Whether I'm playing a cameo as if it's the lead. And I remember Russell Wilson was doing a cameo. We had great cameos in Entourage all the time. And he said to me, when you do a take, is it preseason, regular season, is it playoffs, or is it Super Bowl whenever you do a take? And I said, it's Super Bowl. And I know that sounds corny or cliched, but we're very lucky to be able to work in this life. And so I would put everything I have into everything, whether it's a cameo or Ari Gold, where I get to really have a substantial role. So and it's an honor, when people, you really know how people feel about you when you surprise them. That first look on their face when they see you, that's real. They can adjust and then go, oh, it's great to see you. But if the first look is, oh, this guy, oh, hey, what's up? But when they see me, and forgive me for being so blunt and celebrating myself, but I've made a connection with people, and it's an honor that I've made people laugh, and they see me and they're really happy, and they'll say, hey man, I was stationed over here, and you made all me and the guys laugh, and thank you. And that means everything to me, and I don't take any of it for granted. And yes, my one line in Rush Hour was, may I help you? And I made $270 for that appearance, and Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan each made $20 million. Do I sound bitter? Yeah, I'm bitter.
A little bit. Rightfully so.
Look at me. I'm in the witness protection program right now.
Speaking of, I hope you see the joy on my face. I am a massive fan, and you opened the door to Entourage. I was gonna do my best to not just I'm fanboy out on Entourage the whole time, but you brought up Russell Wilson having a cameo. We had Jerry Ferrara on the show not long ago, and he loosely, and I say loosely, gave me a producer credit for this one. The reboot needs to be about an athlete, right? It's you're seeing like the CAA thing where they're repping both. Maybe Ari has grown to that point and he's branching out. Maybe college athlete with the NIL. Is there? I know you get asked about the reboot too much, but is there something where it can be in the same world with some of the same characters, and instead of going the
Well, think about it. I get asked about the reboot every time they interview me, and listen, guys like you're not going to just be asking random questions. You're asking because you miss it.
100%.
And people miss it. So at some point, HBO or HBO Max is going to go, hold on a second. People are missing it. These guys are ready to go. We have a whole new fan base with the kids that have watched it because of the pandemic. Yeah, it could absolutely be an athlete, whether it's any one of Deion Sanders' sons, coming in. You know what I mean? And then Deion, who would crush it. Could you imagine? And Deion's getting involved in their careers, and I have to deal with Deion, and he is the Ari Gold of athletics. And by the way, Ari Emanuel, the real Ari Gold. I'm just a stage actor from Chicago. He runs AMG and owns the UFC and the WWE. So he's all over the place, man. And so what you're saying is real. And one of the things about Entourage that people gravitated towards is its authenticity. And so it would be perfect to kind of enter into that world. You could do it about the music world. I could be repping John Mayer. You know what I mean? And he's hysterical and insanely talented. A Childish Gambino. And it goes on and on and on.
And that's why you're you, right? I kernel of an idea that I thought was pretty good. You just made 10 times better on first reaction. So
I wouldn't go that far. You had it, and you're right. And these athletes, I know how to work with them. I work with Mike Tyson when he did his work with us, and I don't want to say too much. My instinct is to always say too much.
Hey, well, first of all, let me just jump in and not saying too much, but I want to make sure everybody knows where they can grab tickets to your stand-up tour coming through. Improv.com/Raleigh for tickets, Jeremy-Piven.com for the schedule throughout the country. You also have your latest performance, which you also produced, movie called The Performance, being released later this year, and I want to talk about that, but I want to squeak in one more question here. Because you keep saying, I'm just a stage actor from Chicago. And, as my fanboy has kind of made obvious, I think you're more than that. But right now, kind of topical in our area, the NHL team, the Canes, right here in Carolina, the son of the coach was just called up from the minors to make his debut at the NHL level. Braun and Brawny is a thing with parents and sons kind of giving opportunities. Both your parents were actors and drama teachers, legendary, and I know your mom just passed away, so passing along thoughts and support to you and your entire community. But what was it like knowing, because like John Cusack and Adam McKay and Rosanna Arquette, so many went through like your mom's teaching. Was it how do you navigate when your parents might control some of the opportunities and then you're trying to go get the opportunities, but you don't want to see, how were you as a family able to navigate that?
Well, that's a great question. And the reality is my parents controlled none of the opportunities. And that's one of the interesting realities of life, is that you can have two great artists who were true artists in every sense of the word. They knew it was a great responsibility to be able to create and to work. And so their classes were always incredible. And my father was a lot of tough love and turned me into the actor I am today, he and my mom. And they just really took it very seriously and loved it and empowered us with these sayings like, remember when you get on stage, you're enough. You know what I mean? Which as a kid makes you feel very empowered. But they had no say in the business whatsoever. They could prepare you so that you might be good enough someday to audition and get the role. But that was it. And I never thought about it as like, oh, my parents are like, I wasn't like the player's son or had that complex or anything like that. Or the coach's son, I should say. I just loved it, had a lot of fun, and got my reps in from the time I was 8 years old. And people can. I don't care what people say, and that took me a long time, to be honest with you. I used to care, and that's not healthy. Let me save everyone a lot of time. Just don't even worry about it. It has nothing to do with you. But I've been grinding since I was a child and broke through at the age of 40 and won the Fresh Face of the Year award. And I said, there's nothing fresh about my face, but thank you. And if you stay in it long enough, you will get your shot and you'll be ready.
And well, that's maybe of the best possible transition to your upcoming movie, The Performance, because you've been trying to get it made for 15 years, and you've been taking tap dances, I believe I read, for 12 years, so over a decade of tap dance lessons to be ready for this this opportunity. You produce, you star, your sister is, I believe, the director and co-writer. What is it about this story that's made it, quite frankly, worth a decade and a half of trouble and struggling to get it made?
Well, I play a tap dancer in 1937 that hides his identity. He's Jewish and dances for Hitler for momentum in his career.
I don't want to laugh, but that's a tough sell in a room, right?
It's a very tough sell in the room. Everyone laughed at me along with you, and that's why people didn't, we didn't get the money. And it's interesting the way life works. You get all this rejection, and year after year, after being rejected, I just got better at tap dance until I was good enough to play the role, and the divine timing came along, and here we are at a time when, people are confused about history, and people are debating what's going on, in the Middle East, and the way that I contribute to this conversation is I'm an actor. I tell stories, and I made this movie with my sister, and it's the best work of my life. And go and watch it and learn a little bit about our history, and let us all have long conversations and listen to each other. I think right now we're just talking at each other. And when's the last time you had your mind changed about anything? And I think that's the sign of someone who is evolving. Is can you hear someone else hear what they're saying and take it on board and maybe have your mind changed? And I don't think people are available to that. And once they are, I think we're all going to be unstoppable. But as of now, we're just kind of yelling at each other.
And to use an acting term, I thought I was off book. I should have been looking at the news, or at my notes, excuse me. You also broke ribs during the filming of this movie. So, to put up with the trouble and the struggle, that's a big part of it. You're kind of hockey tough. You just kept it rolling with broken ribs and kept filming?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm hockey tough. I'm not. I mean, there's hockey tough. Chris Chelios, I remember in Chicago growing up and seeing him and talking to him after the game, and his lip is stitched up and his eyes closed, and he's still ready to play through. I did break 8 ribs and go back to work, so maybe in another life I was a hockey player, I guess. I mean, the painkillers felt incredible, I have to say. They were amazing.
Whatever it takes to get on the field, right? Whatever it takes to get out there.
Yeah, and after 15 years, there was nothing was going to stop me.
And that's why I'm so excited to see it. The Performance released later this week. That is Jeremy Piven, the legend, Entourage, Serendipity, Old School, Rush Hour 2, as we talked about. Jeremy-Piven.com for his entire national stand-up tour schedule. Improv.com/Raleigh for tickets. He comes to the area in Cary May 2nd and 3rd. Jeremy, thank you very much for taking the time and jumping on the video with us, even though, you said you got to get yourself television ready. You're always television and radio ready for us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man. If they mention you, why don't we give them some free meet and greets? Because tickets are going fast. So they got to get after it.
I would love that. We'll pass that along. We'll talk to your people and we'll get it set up.
It'll be 11 times funnier than this interview.
Hey, at least 11 times. At least. You take me out and then you get, 20 times.
No. You're all good, man. I was a little too serious. But come on out. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate it, Jeremy. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Once again, that's Jeremy Piven, Entourage, The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard. It's a hilarious and maybe lesser known of his movies, but I really appreciated it. Goodness. That's cool for me. I'm just throwing that out there. We've now had Turtle and Ari from one of my favorite shows, Jerry Ferrara and Jeremy Piven, on the show.
We should get the whole entourage.
I was going to say, where's E? We need to get Kevin Connolly on here next. Start knocking him off. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. A dream is talking to people that you grew up watching. A nightmare is waking up on the middle of a 100-degree day and you don't have your air conditioning, or vice versa. When it's freezing outside, snow on the ground, your heating goes. Or, gosh, I've dealt with this. Why is that water coming from my ceiling? That's not where it's supposed to be. Or your electric goes out. All of those are tough situations. Mainer Service Company makes them a little less tough by having well-trained, highly respected members of your community hired as their technicians to run on out to your house, 24/7 service all across the triangle, get it fixed up, quality service, so it's done right. It's not just a Band-Aid. It's fixed, and it's done as quickly as possible. It truly is turning kind of nightmares into, hey, that was actually a good night's sleep. So go ahead and check it out, 919. Give them a call, Mainer Service Company, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online, MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. We have the Dean's List coming up next, and we grade Canes players. Their season's coming to an end. How'd they do? Stick around.
If you've been hesitating to go ahead and get that new Ram 1500 Laramie you've been eyeing, John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington is making it easy for you to pull the plug. All new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramies are now $15,000 off at John Heister. Guts, glory, Ram, all yours. The powerful engine, the comfort, the advanced technology, all yours. For $15,000 off. See dealer for full details. Get off your keister and get to Heister. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Hey, Greater Triangle area. Chick-fil-A invites you to enjoy a large waffle potato fries on us in the Chick-fil-A app. Join us this week, April 14th through 18th, to get your reward for a large waffle potato fries by downloading or signing into your Chick-fil-A app with location services on in the Greater Triangle market area. Redeem when you order through the Chick-fil-A app at a participating Greater Triangle area Chick-fil-A restaurant from 10:30 a.m. to close. Offer subject to availability. Rewards are single use only. Limit 1 per person per Chick-fil-A account. See further details in the app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
So, you found the one and want to get married? Next step, you need the ring. And not just any ring. The perfect engagement sparkle that exemplifies your love. Bailey's Fine Jewelry is here to help. Our diamond experts, wide selection of high-quality diamonds, and financing make saying I do easy. We guarantee you'll love the ring or your money back. You're invited to see why Bailey's has been voted best place to buy your diamonds. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com to find out more.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Cool cars, cool people, good times. America's favorite car show is back. The Good Guys 10th Griot's Garage North Carolina Nationals presented by Tremec. This Friday and Saturday at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds in Raleigh. Cruise on out and see over 1,500 of the Southeast's finest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Autocross racing, a Saturday night demolition derby, vendor midway, live entertainment, and more. This Friday and Saturday at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds. Details at good-guys.com.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit BodyArmorStateGames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Celebrate 50 years of adventure at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Enjoy award-winning performances and European-inspired attractions. Feel the excitement of thrilling rides, like the all-new Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. There's fun for the whole family. From conquering first rides to exploring immersive lands, there's always something worth celebrating. Only at the world's most beautiful theme park. Save up to 30% on tickets, fun cards, and memberships during our Spring Spectacular sale. Hurry, offer ends soon. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and the NBA play-in tournament is almost upon us, and FanDuel is giving all new customers a chance at $250 in bonus bets. Join today. Place your first $5 wager. If that wins, $250 of their money belongs to you. Three-pointers, steals, assists, whatever. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. It's FanDuel.com/AdamGold. It's the NBA's play-in tournament. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Shout out to Jeremy Piven one more time for joining us.
One of our listeners said Smokin' Aces was his favorite Jeremy Piven movie.
He's been around, like, I know he was joking about being older. He's been around. He was on Ellen for like 70 episodes.
Yeah. He played young George Costanza on Seinfeld.
Yeah, the Bizarro World, right?
Yeah, like the flashback and everything.
Yeah, I mean, Larry Sanders Show. I didn't even get to Old School. He's Dean Pritchard, man.
Yeah, he was great in that.
There's a lot. So anyway, appreciate Jeremy for joining.
I say that was the first time he really stood out in a role to me. Was that like where he actually had like a more because again Rush Hour 2 he had like a real small scene.
Buttercream. What's the waste? Let's go in.
But he stole it.
Yeah, stole a scene, and continues to do so, and he'll be in the area May 3rd and 4th, Raleigh Improv.
Second, third.
Yeah. See, that's why I shouldn't go off book. As I told them, I need to look at notes. But I do know it's at the Raleigh Improv, so improv.com/Raleigh for tickets. Right now, let's fire up the Dean's List, put some class in session. Today is the opening of the transfer portal for college football, and there is movement. But I'm not starting there. I'm starting with a different movement. I'm starting Con Knipple Duke basketball. Con Knipple declared for the NBA draft. And for some reason, people are okay with this version of leaving the school, and they're not okay with transfer portal, where they're like, how do I get to know somebody when they're only here 1 year and then they leave? He's going to the NBA. Oh, okay, that's fine. I don't have to get to know him. That's cool. If you're going to another team, then I just don't know what to do. Listen, guys, do what's best for them. The reason you go to college is what? Get a good, high-paying job? I know to get educated. But he can take his MBA salary, put off a little side that says, like, hey, this is my education money, and return to finish that up anytime he wants. He's going to be a top 10 pick. Good for you. Anyone that ends up a first-rounder in darn near any sport, I'm just like, do you. Good for you. And I know it seemed like Knipple showed up at Duke and he was guaranteed to be this. He really wasn't like a top 7-8 NBA pick when he showed up. He was a 5-star, don't get me wrong, but he's like a 20-something. He played his way at Duke up the draft board until now it does seem like he's going to be, between 6 and 8 kind of conservatively in the draft, that's legit. So credit to him for using his college experience to up his status professionally. Dennis, do you have someone you'd like to give in the Dean's List?
I don't.
All right, that is A-okay. I want to give a shout-out to somebody, actually, second shout-out to somebody that's been on the show recently. I'm putting John Anderchek of the brand-new Campbell head basketball coach on the Dean's List. and this is not me being bitter, he's shown up on a ton of shows. He was on with Adam. He's been on this network a bunch of times.
He was on Next Up.
He was on Next Up with Paul and Graham, 9 to 10 every morning weekdays. I've seen him on Campbell's social media. I've seen him on other. He wants spotlight, and I get it. I never understand why coaches, especially new coaches, are stingy with the media. To me, if there's somebody out there with like a podcast with 20 listeners, you're like, hey, listen, I can't set aside time, but if I'm in a car, I'll give you a call. Like, I'll get, like, you find ways because, you know, the Campbell Camels have to get their name out there, and he's willing. Matter of fact, you know, people, you'd be surprised how many like kids coming out of college will just reach out and be like, I want to get into sports media. What's your advice? My advice right now would be like, call John Anderchek. He could be the biggest guest on whatever podcast or
seriously
college show that you have, because he wants people to know that, you know, there's a new force leading Campbell, and he's trying to advertise. So credit to him. I like that energy. I like when somebody's like, yeah, I'm out here. What of it? And then quickly, speaking of the football transfer portal, I'm going Jaden Ott, running back from Cal, hit the transfer portal, already committed to Oklahoma. Something happened at Cal. I don't know what. Their 9 leading rushers from last season are all in the transfer portal.
9 leading rushers
from last season are all in the portal.
Okay.
They had 4 running backs, including Ott, hit the transfer portal the same day.
That's weird.
To me, it's they talked and something happened, and they all, like, I don't think that's a coincidence. Because the 4th stringer isn't like, what, the 3 running backs ahead of me on the depth chart bailed? I think I should bail too. Normally, it's like I'm the 4th stringer. The 3 running backs ahead of me on the depth chart bailed. I'm the 1st stringer.
I'm number 1.
Yeah. Look at this. I'm about to get all the carries.
20 carries a game. Let's go.
So the fact that they all left, something happened. And to me, you make the best of a bad situation, right? Whatever happened, you bail. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just vibes, but they're all out. Ott could have gone pro, elected to come back. My guess is he's getting a pretty penny from Oklahoma. That's how you make that decision the right one. I give guys that pivot and find like a good outcome a lot of credit, because it's not that easy, right? Nobody knows. There's no blueprint for handling college football right now. That's it for the Dean's List. Let's go ahead and sound that bell. All right, we're doing a little flipping of roles here. Traditionally, when we give grades for players, Dennis sets up the player, I give the grade. I was like, no, Dennis.
Okay.
I want to set it up. You give the grade.
All right.
But first, the players that were called up from the AHL didn't include Ryan Suzuki, and that appears to be something that our listenership, right? We say we read comments.
We do.
Our listenership is curious about. Here's why I think they're not bringing up Ryan Suzuki. Ryan Suzuki is a member of the AHL, good player, productive player at the AHL level, been there a while. Made his debut earlier this year when the flu was running through the Canes locker room, and they had a bunch of guys out. I think they're calling guys up who they want to learn more about. That's what I like. They're calling guys up to see how they react. I think the Canes evaluators feel like they know what Ryan Suzuki is. He's been in the system for a long time. They've seen him in a lot of different situations. There's no mystery there. It's not like, hey, if we bring him up and he plays well, he could surprise us. They're like, no, we know what he is. That's no disrespect to Ryan Suzuki. Good player, really good AHL player, and they proved earlier this year if there's an absolute pinch, they can call him up and play him whatever it was, 7 minutes in a game. I think you're bringing up Bradley Nadau because you're like, what is he? We still don't know yet. We want to learn more. You're bringing up Skyler Brind'Amour. What is he? Right? He's been in the system less of a time period. Like, that's to me what I'm looking at. Anything to add there, Dennis, before we get to grades?
I think it's also as well generally when you're calling guys up, you're asking that person to do something similar to what they were doing in the AHL. So Skyler Brind'Amour is a bottom 6 forward. He's going to play a bottom 6 role up here in the NHL. You're not going to take a guy who's like, hey, you're a scorer down in the AHL. We're going to put you on like a line where you're just going to grind in the corner. You're asking a guy to do something that they're not normally asked to do. So I think that's the reason why Skyler Brind'Amour is up. And he's a bigger guy, too. He's like 6'3", 200 pounds. Like, he's a bigger guy.
There you go. That's the way we see it. Yeah. Now, Dennis, how do you see some of these players?
Okay, hit me.
We need grades, letter grades.
All right.
We'll start right down Main Street. Sebastian Aho.
This season?
A full body of work, not just like the form they're in recently, taking the full body of work.
I give it a B+.
Okay.
I would give it a B+ because I think Sebastian this season, because of the guys that are no longer here, whether that's obviously Jake Gensel that was here for the short bit last year, Martin Necas got traded, and so on.
Teravainen gone before the season.
Teravainen gone. So there's a lot of guys that aren't there anymore that he's used to playing around. So he's had to take on a little bit more of a role, and I think he's also been very cognizant of, I have to make sure I'm really good on the defensive side of things first, and I think some of that has impacted his offensive scoring, but overall, he still is your leading scorer. He still is your number one center, and he can play in every situation. I would give him a B+.
Let's make this one a little more difficult.
Okay.
Jackson Blake, rookie, on the top line for as of recently, but he hasn't been there all season.
I'm trying not to go recency bias, but again, you also have to go with expectations on this. I would give Jackson Blake a solid B.
Okay.
I would give him a solid B because we've seen the creativity from him, especially over the last 25 games or so, and the skill that he has. The production in terms of actual like crooked numbers on the stat sheet just weren't getting there, even though he deserved more. He's obviously been playing lights out much of the last 10 games or so, now that the puck is actually going in the net. But I'll give him a solid B because there was that learning curve. There was that wall that a lot of rookies hit. I'll give him a solid B this year. He's been surprisingly good.
Jesperi Kotkaniemi.
C.
Yep.
I give him a C.
I'm trying to get a variety. I'm not just throwing all the straight A students. I'm not giving you the honor students here. I got to make you grade.
I would give him a C. He's been playing for the most part as your second line center, but there have been plenty of times where he's been dropped down as the fourth line center once again. He's been given plenty of opportunities, and the production just hasn't been there.
Next up, we'll go Brent Burns. Again, against expectations, he's 40-something-year-old defenseman.
Oh, I know. There's been a lot of mistakes, a lot of missed coverages in the defensive zone, just guys getting behind him or just guys getting free from him, especially around the net. I would go C- for Brent Burns. I know he's still playing against on a top defensive pair, but I would go C-.
All right, now I feel bad. I'm making you be too brutal here. We'll go Seth Jarvis.
Oh, I got to give Jarvis an A. I got to give Jarvis an A.
Extra credit? I mean, is he like, are we pushing like 4.0? Is he 9.8? 98%?
He might be a solid 94.
Okay. All right, so there's still room for improvement there. 94, he can do better.
There is room for improvement.
He can do better there.
And I think that's the thing, is that I think he actually is getting better.
You got to throw a few minuses in there. Maybe he needs to be a little more serious. Talking a lot in the back. No, I'm kidding.
No, he's
talking
fine.
A lot in the back of the room. He definitely was that kid in school, by the way. We got to do it at some point. Andrei Svechnikov.
D.
We got to do it at some point.
D.
Parent-teacher conferences? Are we how serious are we? Like, we're getting together as a teaching staff and figuring out where we're failing him? Like, what's the deal here?
It's a noticeable regression. It's a noticeable regression, and there's a graphic that was put out, I forget by who it was, a couple of days ago, about just his overall top speed. Yep. NHL Edge, which is part of the NHL, puts out advanced stats in terms of how fast players are skating on average, how many times they reach 18 miles per hour or 20 miles per hour or 22 miles per hour. They put up, they refer to them as bursts. The bursts in terms of speed are way down from where they were a couple of years ago. Hitting the top speed in terms of per 60 minutes played just hasn't been there. He still continues to get hurt, even though he had a full off season to train. And again, this goal scoring and just the overall point production hasn't been this low since his rookie year.
Shout out Pierre Analytics. That's who posted
it. It's a D in my mind.
That's tough for me because the lack of like burst and lack of number of bursts above 22 miles per hour and all those things, that he's just a different physical player. Like, that's tough to adjust to, where it's like, I used to be able to get to that puck and now I can't, or I used to, ruin the angle of this guy trying to cut me off, and now he's putting me into the boards. It's hard to retrain your brain on what you can and can't do, and he's going to have to find a way. Like a pitcher that, used to throw 102 is now throwing 96. It's like you're not you're not a slow pitcher. You just got to learn how to pitch, right? You can't just blow it by him anymore. We'll end with these, and you can grade them as a pair. It's a group project.
Okay.
Freddie Anderson and Pyotr Kochetkov. And if you want to give them individual grades, you can, but it's obviously their job is connected.
Yeah, as a tandem, B-.
Okay.
I think B-. I think just it's been too inconsistent. When those two are going hot, it's amazing.
It is incredible how much they kind of play off each other.
Yeah.
When one's going well, suddenly the other's going well, then they go on a streak where it's lights out. Then when one falters, it's like only a matter of time until the other catches up. And I guess that's kind of nice when, it's either really nice or really bad. It's really nice when one gets going and then the other one matches them, and now you get a 10-game streak of unbelievable goaltending.
So I get a B-, again, which isn't bad, but you're teetering on just above average.
Yeah, and it's, C's get degrees, but you hope your students are striving for better.
I mean, I want cum laude. Can I get cum laude?
I want an extra tassel on graduation day.
There you go.
I had one more here, and I just don't want to leave him out because Jacob Slavin. I feel like he just gets taken for granted. So
yeah,
you don't want to be like the good kid that the teacher never talks to because you're just getting A's. Like, you want some attention. Jacob Slavin.
I'll give him an A-.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll give him an A-. Because they're especially the last few games, like, you've seen a couple uncharacteristic mistakes, but he's still a stud.
And do we want to go as far as like, listen, it's a life lesson. You got to pick better group project partners.
Right?
If you're doing more work to make up for the knuckleheads you chose to do the science fair with. It happens. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's some Canes grades by the end of the year.
A couple people said, Micah said for Kokoniemi a B-.
Okay.
He said Svetch a D+.
So
I said D. So
first of all time upset that Micah is kind of an easy grader.
Yeah, I know.
I thought Micah would have like most of the team like failing. He's usually so brutal.
Orlov a D. So yeah,
we didn't do Dmitry Orlov.
We did not do.
So we'll take Micah's word for it on that one.
Yeah,
the official grade comes from the TA.
And then Robert said, "Wow, Dennis B-. You're very generous." I guess referring to the goaltenders. I guess I was.
I thought you were a little generous there. But it's a consistency thing, right? In the average, it might be a B-, but that's because they had like an A month and a C- month.
Yeah,
and then
that's the thing. It's just the lack of consistency because when they're on, it's awesome.
As we've seen. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have football at 4 coming up next. Our first football edition of As the Portal Turns. Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov, tick-tack, tied, in Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save it, rebound! Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Let me just give you a quick story real quick. My wife had contacted another company for windows. I saw the price and I went, let me just make sure that that's in the ballpark. And I texted Patrick. You came out to my house the next day, which was awesome. And we will save tons of money and get more work done. How do you do that?
I mean, we're there to help, so we put together packages that work for our customers. You know, we have high-quality products, and our motto has been quality you can afford for a very long time. So, you know, we do a lot of business. We have a lot of options, and we just have done so much business over the years that we get good pricing from our manufacturers, and we don't try to kill people on pricing. We're here to help. That's what we're here for. That's why we've been around for so long.
And the job can be broken up into 2 or even 3 trips. It is incredible. The Aluminum Company of North Carolina, best customer service in the industry, incredible work, and they stand by it forever. 800-672-4348.
Soccer fans, the North Carolina Courage, the Triangle's premier professional women's soccer team, and First Horizon Stadium at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary is the place to be. To believe, become, and belong. This season's match nights are packed with entertainment. Enjoy the Courageous Be Courageously Fun series, spectacular theme night celebrations that make the match day experience fun for everyone. Grab your fan gear. Visit nccourage.com/tickets to get match tickets today.
Is going to your local bar the worst part of your day? The bartender ignores you, mediocre food, warm beer? Then why go there? Take 5 minutes and drop in at Sharky's, where they'll give you a free evaluation, and you can learn about all the bars that you shouldn't go to. Sharky's has helped thousands find the right bar to hang at. What are you waiting for? Sharky's evaluation could be the cure to the worst part of your day. Change your bar, change your life. Sharky's, 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole! That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Not as windy this afternoon as it was yesterday, but some gusts up to around 20 miles per hour. A comfortable afternoon with sunny skies and a high of 68. Colder tonight. There's a frost advisory from Durham westward. Temperatures in the mid-30s to near 40, and the rest of us close to 40 for the overnight low. See clear skies and lots of sunshine for tomorrow with a high near 70.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 699 points to 39,669. Market update brought to you by Lufthansa. Lufthansa is excited to take off from Raleigh Durham International Airport, connecting you to destinations like Germany, Italy, India, and beyond. Say yes to incredible journeys. Book today at Lufthansa.com.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The college football transfer portal officially opened today for the spring window, which is different than the post-season window, which is different than players just saying they're going to enter the portal before the window is opened. There's a lot of portaling going on.
On the latest episode of As the Portal Turns.
On the latest edition, football edition of As the Portal Turns. A homegrown Raleigh native, UNC sack leader, decides he's had enough Belichick. Bo Atkinson hits the transfer portal from UNC. He led them in sacks last year. So just to be clear, the team's sack leader from a season ago spent a spring practice with the greatest defensive mind that most of us have ever seen, and then decided to throw up the deuces from a school that is literally like 45 minutes from where he grew up. You know what I actually think about that? I think it's all right. I think that is a bummer of the portal, because I do think part of the secret sauce of yesteryear of college football were the local guys that stayed near and played for a bunch of years at the local program, and they were, I don't, like, this was happening the year I left Delaware. But if you were from Delaware, if you played your high school football in Delaware, they were going to give you an extra little star on, we had like a outline of the state of Delaware on the back of our jerseys. They were going to give you a star if you were from Delaware playing for Delaware. And as somebody that was not from Delaware, I thought that was really cool, because I'm like, it probably does mean more to them.
Yeah, it's actually pretty neat.
It probably, and it's, you know, in the scheme of things, like, it's not like, you know, in your game pictures you were going to pick up this tiny little star on the back of your jersey, but it was like, it probably did mean more to them. And that is part of, like, you know, the fact that somebody like Atkinson transfers out looking for what's best for them. It's like, oh man, I thought he was going to be one of those local guys that went to the, you know, the school he grew up rooting for and stayed and became a thing. But, you know, he's got to do what's best for him.
It means more.
There it is. Here's my official take. If it happens after spring ball, I think it's easier for everyone to take. I think it's easier for everyone to understand. Like, you gave it a shot, right? New coach came in. You didn't bail right away. You didn't go, this isn't who I signed up to play for. Like, you were like, no, let's see how it goes. Let me see how they run a meeting. Let me see how they run a practice. And let me see if my play style fits with their play style. If they see value in me, like, let me interact. And then if after spring ball I decide that it's not what's best for me, you move on, I'm okay with that. Shout out to the parents of toddlers out there. Pete the Cat, my son, my 4-year-old, he's all over Pete the Cat right now. They have an episode about the 3-bite rule, which means if you think you don't like food, you got to give it 3 bites. If after 3 bites you still don't like the food, you're allowed to not like the food. But if you don't take the 3 bites, you can't whine and complain about having to eat that for dinner or whatever until you do the 3 bites. Like, to me, after spring practice, you did the 3 bites. If you still don't like it, cool, right? So, like, Wake Forest had an exodus into the transfer portal today, right? The Wednesday it opened up and a bunch of players hit the portal. New coach went through spring ball. All right, what I do and what you're looking for, they don't add up. We tried it. We gave it the good old-fashioned college try, as they say, and now we'll hit the portal, right? And it's not just Wake Forest. You know, like I said, UNC, Bo Atkinson, Zach Rice. Do you remember how big? I don't know if people follow recruiting like I do. Zach Rice going to UNC was a big deal. He was, I think, the 2nd-rated offensive tackle in the entire recruiting class, and he went to UNC, and it was a big deal. And over 3 years, hasn't really gotten his way onto the field very much. But I'm sure new coach, he's thinking like, hey, right? The new coach might see the talent that everybody else saw in me coming out of high school. After spring practice, he hits the portal. I think that's okay. And at the same time, right, with NIL being such a big deal, the coaches get a chance to look at the players and go, all right, we better offer that guy more money. All right, we better put it like that person becomes indispensable. All right, right. If Zach Rice went out there and proved that he was going to be the starting left tackle that protected whoever ends up being quarterback, UNC had a chance to see it, evaluate it, make their pitch. So to me, if you leave right after the season, right, portal opens, you're in the right after the season, part of me looks around and goes, I don't, that might be emotional, right? I never like to see pro athletes retire within like 2 weeks at the end of a season, because I'm going like, well, once that bruise on your shoulder heals, you might think differently, right? Once you get on a beach for 2 weeks, you might think, you know what, I do want to give one more try. after spring practice, it makes more sense for me that you hit the portal and it's truly mutual, right? Kendrick Raphael, Dakari Collins, a couple of skill position players that like contributed for NC State this past year, both hit the portal officially today. You know, by the end of spring, you usually know the pecking order, right? If you're a wide receiver and at the end of spring you're going in only on 4 wide receiver sets, that might not be okay with you. You usually know, and it's usually like I know every coach says like going into fall camp, every job is open. It can't start that way, right? If Dakari Collins is looking around and he's going, well, Noah Rogers was already above me, Wesley Grimes was already above me, and 2 of these freshmen are now getting reps before I am. He's looking around going like, all right, yeah, cool. Coaches made their choice. Now I'm on the way out. Now he gets to go somewhere else and gets to go, you know, chase time, money, whatever he wants to chase. Duke really, not a ton of big names, but Manny Diaz seems to have a culture thing going there. And I think they had the running back, Star Thomas. He ended up at Tennessee, but that was from the previous. There's not a ton of names going in there.
Yeah, there isn't with Duke, even on the basketball side of things. I know we'll talk about that probably a little bit later on. But on the football side of things, we haven't seen a large exodus of guys leaving Duke over the last couple of years under Manny Diaz. It's just Malik Murphy, I should say, left after this past season, but they were able to get Darian Mensah right away. I mean, like you said, Wake Forest has got, 8, 9 guys already in the portal? It's more possibly coming. It's weird.
And I don't even, because Duke obviously, Star Thomas, Malik Murphy, you brought up. Those are key contributors, but it's almost like for some reason everyone in Duke's program was more decisive, which allowed Duke to, pivot quicker, right? All right, Malik Murphy's out. Boom. Darian Mensah's in. All right, this guy's out. Cool. Let's go recruit this position. The later they happen, the more difficult it is for a coach. Even if I think you should give it that try, it's still coaches are going well, how about not? How about if you're going to leave after spring practice, you leave as soon as you can so we can plan. I just think from a fan player standpoint, it's more like, all right, he tried. Now he wants to go somewhere else. I can stomach it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Ladder Challenge. I actually did, as I never do. I listened to myself yesterday, made a little extra money. Still on a heater. We'll see if Dennis is also on a heater when we come back. And don't forget, everybody, first goal scorer predictions for the Canes. At 4:33, we'll open up the phone lines. We need 3 official contestants. At least, call in as many as you want. We'll take 3 official contestants to predict who will score the first goal for the Canes tonight and in what period. And I'll give you some advice. Check to make sure they're playing. There's a lot of guys that are sitting out this one. And so, don't come in predicting Sebastian Aho because he's not even playing in this one. So we need a Cane that will play tonight's name and a period for who will score the first goal for the Canes. That's what we want to hear from you. And that'll be at 4:33. So ladder challenge, hit it and quit it, first goal score predictions, all after this.
The Adam Gold Show.
And I get asked all the time, what's the key for Carolina to go far in the playoffs? There are 2 keys. One is obvious. Got to get decent goaltending. Either Frederik Andersen or Pyotr Kochetkov need to be at least good. But if you want to go far in the playoffs, Andrei Svechnikov has to be something resembling the player that got a $7.75 million contract.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Welcome home. Your home's not just where you live, it's where life happens. At Baker Home Exteriors, we're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same craftsmanship to your doorstep. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Hey, which way is your waiting room?
Oh, you can stay in your car. It only takes 10 minutes.
I can stay in? Get out. I better find a good playlist to listen to while I wait. EDM? Nah. Oh, what about something classical? Nah. You got any suggestions?
Dad rock?
Now you speaking my language.
Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Hey, Greater Triangle area, Chick-fil-A invites you to enjoy a large waffle potato fries on us in the Chick-fil-A app. Join us this week, April 14th through 18th, to get your reward for a large waffle potato fries by downloading or signing into your Chick-fil-A app with location services on in the Greater Triangle market area. Redeem when you order through the Chick-fil-A app at a participating Greater Triangle area Chick-fil-A restaurant from 10:30 a.m. to close. Offer subject to availability. Rewards are single-use only. Limit 1 per person per Chick-fil-A account. See further details in the app.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. TNCs apply.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-383-7733. That's 800-383-7733.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, it's time for the ladder challenge. Dennis, did you win last night?
I did.
All right, we're both in the winners column. And you know what else is even better? I made a little extra money. Because for the 3rd consecutive time, I've, for my ladder challenge, picked a player, an NBA player, for not the 3rd consecutive ladder challenge, but the 3rd time I've made this particular bet, where there's a number that they have to go over for points plus rebounds plus assists. For the 3rd consecutive time I've said, I think they could get this amount just in points. And for the 3rd consecutive time, that player did get just that, over the number I needed for points plus rebounds plus assists in just points. And I made a pact with myself that if I'm going to say that, I also have to put, aside from the ladder challenge, a little bit extra money on just that points over. So last night, Steph Curry, I said 30 or more points plus rebounds plus assists in the play-in game. And that's exactly what he did. He got 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. I had a little bit extra scratch of my own money on 30 or more points, and more than doubled my money there. So I'm just proud of myself for actually believing in myself. Right? What was we had Jeremy Piven on earlier, and he said that his parents were both drama teachers, and they would look at him and say, "You are enough." I feel like that was me.
Yeah.
I made my bet, and I said, "You are enough. You are right. Bet on yourself," and I did, and I got like an extra $12.
You're good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You're smart enough.
Exactly.
Gosh darn it, people like me.
Yeah, shout out. So, and Steph had his moment, by the way, which is what I was banking on, right? In an elimination game, you just kind of knew Steph was going to do his thing. He had 15 of the last 19 points for the Warriors. And I think I saw something that said him and Jimmy Butler had like 60 of their last 70.
I think so.
Something ridiculous like that. So I may be coming back to that at some point where there's an elimination game, just bet on stars. But that took my 1743 up to 1936. Dennis, what did you win on last night?
So I had the Columbus Blue Jackets against the Philadelphia Flyers last night. I knew that the Columbus Blue Jackets needing a win, so I went ahead and took them at plus 2.5 goals, just anticipating they were going to be, winning, which they did, and that brought me up to $12.90.
All right. Do you want me to lead off?
Yeah, you're the leader in the clubhouse right now.
There is a play-in game tonight.
Okay.
I'm going looking at Bulls Sacramento.
Right.
And I'm able to tease the Bulls to plus 13.5. So I'm taking Bulls plus 13.5 over Sacramento. It's a minus 980 bet, so it's just barely squeaking into our minus 500 to minus 1,000 parameters. Sacramento, obviously, I mean, they sold De'Aaron Fox, right? They can't be all in. And, again, second reference to Jeremy Piven. He gave us a whole bunch of reasons. He thinks, Giddey is underrated, and he thinks Chicago's kind of being slept on. So I'm riding with Ari Gold. Jeremy Piven. Give me $19.36 to turn into $21.33 when the Bulls keep it within 2 touchdowns.
Okay. I'm going to go Winnipeg Jets at home against the Anaheim Ducks. Ducks stink. Jets are good. And, neither of these teams really have a whole lot to play for right now. So, defense optional. Just give me over 3.5 goals, minus 750. So, my $12.90 will turn into $14.62.
Was there any consideration of this being maybe one of the only times you'd feel comfortable betting against the Canes and going Canes like plus 2.5 or plus 3.5? Because Montreal is just desperate it'd be the reverse.
But Montreal like plus 1.5?
Yeah. No. I'm right here because Columbus wants Montreal to lose.
Yes.
So Montreal is completely desperate. So if you got the Canes like, plus 2.5 or plus 3.5 or reverse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm all pretzeled up here.
Canes are actually Montreal's favorite tonight. Canes are the underdog in this game on the money line. Montreal's a minus 142.
You can get the Canadiens plus 2.5 at minus 630.
I could have.
Was there any thought there? Because I thought this is like one of the only times where it's like cool, it's okay to bet against the Canes because you're like, they're trying out an AHL lineup against a desperate NHL lineup.
Yeah, then Bradley Nadau nets a hat trick,
Kotkaniemi turns out not a very good second-line center. Unbelievable first-line center.
Right?
Hat trick tonight for Kotkaniemi.
Actually, I know you love a good narrative bet.
Yep.
Kotkaniemi, obviously the team playing against the team that drafted him, the whole offer sheet thing. I'm just saying.
They've been lights out against Montreal since the Aho offer sheet.
That's right, they have been.
I think it's like 11-1-1 or 12-1-1 or something like that.
It's funny. A little behind the scenes here for you. I know we'll get to hit it and quit it here in a sec. But anytime Montreal is in Carolina to take on the Hurricanes, the Montreal media, because Rob Brind'Amour will have availability either at a morning skate or even about 2.5 hours before puck drop, he has media availability. The Montreal media always asks him about Kotkaniemi in some way, shape, or form.
He's the one that got away. He's their Great White Buffalo.
Well, I think they just try and rag on him because it's funny. I'm going to say this in a jokey manner, but some of them will just kind of ask along the lines of, Kotkaniemi's really been struggling lately. He only has 1 goal. Like, did you expect this? Like, basically, like something along those lines. Like, man, you guys are really railing on Kotkaniemi. They hate the fact that he signed an offer sheet with Carolina.
And
it's just funny. Anyway, behind the scenes.
Rod is, and by the way, this is one of my favorite things about Rod interacting with the media. He will reject a premise.
Yeah.
If you say, like, Kotkaniemi's really been struggling, what do you make of that? He'll just straight up say, well, I reject the premise of that question. I don't think he's been struggling. He did that with Burns the other day. People were asking him about Burns not. He's like, well, actually, I think Burns played pretty well today. So your question is irrelevant to me. Which I respect. Like, you don't have to assume that everything in the question is 100% accurate just because we say it not as a question, as a statement before we ask a question. So I like that from him.
Yeah, that question you're referring to about Brent Burns, this Ryan Hinkle, who helps write with the Hockey Writers Association, he asked the question of, hey, Brent Burns has been on the ice for 4 shorthanded goals against, but he's only been on the ice for 3 power play goals. So he brought true facts and numbers about it. he asks what's the reasoning for continuing to use him on the power play? And Rod answered the question the way that he did regarding to. He's like, hey, you know what? It's not always on Brent Burns.
And by the way, I want to be clear. I wasn't knocking Henkel at all.
I know. I'm just give a little context for that question.
A question that quite a few people were going to have. But it's, I tell people all the time, you're not under oath at the podium if you're a player or a coach.
It's true.
You also, you don't have to answer every question if you don't want to. Because let's be real, maybe if Rod started honestly evaluating Brent Burns, it wouldn't have been something that he wanted his player to hear. You never know what's going on through everyone's mind. So I'm not knocking anybody. I like the idea of, people that are at the podium understanding they're the ones in control. And that's coming from someone at the media who, I wish they were under oath and they had to answer everything we asked. But the fact is they don't. Let's go ahead and hit it and quit it, shall we?
I want you to hit it.
By the way, first goal scorer predictions, 4:33, less than 10 minutes away. Who will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period? Kotkaniemi, definitely an option. First line center tonight.
And some people have mentioned his name in the comments already.
Look at that. We'll be taking callers in less than 10 minutes. You can get your first goal scorer predictions onto our YouTube live stream in the comments as quickly as you want to. We'll start hitting quit it off with Con Knippel announced he will be going to the NBA draft today. Dennis, I'll use one of your lines. This is my shocked face.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't put it past Duke. Let me just, Duke is a machine. Duke basketball, they are the definition of, thinking everything through. Because I'm seeing a lot of, why isn't Cooper Flagg declaring? What if Con Knippel's the why isn't? There might be, a rollout plan of, let's make sure Con gets his moment in the news cycle, then let's make sure Common gets his moment, then let's make sure Cooper Flagg isn't overshadowing anything. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm fully confident those three will all end up in the NBA draft and will all end up lottery picks. You don't pass on being a lottery pick, at least not many do. The question still remains for Isaiah Evans, still remains for Tyrese Proctor, still remains for a few others that I think are legitimate questions. But for those three, it's not a matter of if to me, it's a matter of when. And then obviously if any of them elect to come back, I'll just be shocked and stupefied. Sion James is going pro, as is Mason Gillis.
Well, yes, they have to.
Yeah, they don't have to announce. Their eligibility was exhausted, although there are a bunch of guys going in the transfer portal after their eligibility is exhausted, and I don't understand it. So if, Ben Middlebrooks can go into the transfer portal, then I don't see why Sion James can't announce he's coming back to Duke next year.
Right?
I don't. I'll just leave it at that. I don't. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
What?
A couple things to keep in mind here, Tim, as we approach the NFL draft. The week after the NFL draft is when NFL teams have to declare players that are on rookie contracts, former first-round picks, if they just completed their third year going into year 4, i.e. Ike Ekwonu of the Carolina Panthers. Teams have to declare if they want to pick up the fifth-year option for said players. Again, these only apply to first-round picks. It's after their third year in the league.
Correct.
So, Ike Ekwonu, Dan Morgan, earlier this week in his press availability said, yeah, we're still trying to weigh all options when it comes to Ike Ekwonu in terms of the fifth year and so on and so forth. Is there a chance, Tim, that you think Ike Ekwonu doesn't have his fifth-year option picked up by the Carolina Panthers?
There's one.
Hence making this his final year of his contract?
There's one specific instance in which maybe.
Okay.
And I'm not even sure on the actual parameters of it, but I think Jordan Love had a similar situation where through 3 years they weren't picking up his fifth year, but they actually signed him to an extension, which was one more year after the fifth year, but for less money because they were still unsure, and it gave him a bit more security, but less per year.
Yes, I think you're spot on with that.
So it would take a real. Not only are we on the same page of a long book, but team and player are on the same word of the same paragraph in the same sentence, reading at the same pace of the same book to pull that off for a non-quarterback who has played. Right, because part of the Jordan Love thing was, we're going to make you the starter. Aaron Rodgers is leaving, but we really haven't seen you play at all. So we we need to figure out something specific here. So that's the only way I could see. Like, to me, he's played left tackle pretty much from the moment he arrived. Like, he's
day one starter,
and he's gotten better. I would say from year 1 to year 3, and from year 2 to year 3. I actually think he took a bit of a step back from year 1 to year 2. But year 3 was much better, and that's with the current coaching staff. I'd be very surprised if his 5th-year option isn't picked up. But if they want to wait a little bit and see if they can't come to that ultimate Goldilocks, not too expensive, not too much of a haircut, sweet spot to get an extension beyond, maybe that's it. I don't know, but I still would expect it to. I would expect it to hit.
I agree with you on that one. To me, I think they're trying to work out that contract, like you said, and if it doesn't get done by the deadline, which I think is May 1st, May 2nd, somewhere around that time, that they go ahead and pick up the 5th-year option.
Or even if it just looks like, you know what, we tried, but we're not moving in the right direction here. We're just going to pick up your 5th-year option. I think that's, again, unless it is they are seeing the field wildly the same, I think it'll end up just with a 5th-year option picked up. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
You like that? You like that?
All right, so if you're a Carolina Hurricanes fan, you need to be a hockey fan first. Like, you need to you need to know what you're watching. You need to be an immigration law expert because you're trying to figure out Alexander Nikishin. Where is he? When will he? Can he? What's this visa? What's this other country's visa situation? And now you need to be aware of city planning and zoning requirements, because the rezoning has been approved for changes around the Lenovo Center that we've been promised for a while now.
Yes, it's officially approved. The Raleigh City Council approved the rezoning where they being Tom Dundon and Carolina Hurricanes and so on, can actually build those parking decks outside of Lenovo, which obviously impacts NC State fans as well, because that's also parking for state football games, so it's going to impact tailgating. So the rezoning was approved. Again, all this stuff is not going to really go into effect in terms of outside the arena until the end of this calendar year. And this is all stuff going to be done in phases over several years.
Here's how it shows. Did you see the news about the Commanders' new deal?
No.
Just this afternoon, it was sent in to me by some friends I have up in D.C. NBC4 Washington has announced that the Commanders and D.C. are very close to a deal that will build a new stadium at the old RFK Stadium location.
That's a great spot to put it.
Makes a lot of sense. And also to develop a huge multi-purpose entertainment, everything campus around it.
Like they did around Nats Park.
Exactly. That is expected, I believe, the stadium will open in 2030.
Okay.
And in the group chat that it was thrown in for me, the first response was, wow, that's really quick. Things don't move really fast when it comes to building gigantic apparatuses and buildings and zoning and everything. So, it being approved is awesome. It doesn't mean that the stuff around the Lenovo Center is going to, pop up like the gas station down the street from your house did, where it's like, oh, they're coming. Oh, look, it's there. It's going to take time. But for the long run, it's so much better for the team. I think it's awesome for the community, and obviously for ownership. So good for you, Tom Dundon. And also good for everyone up in DC. I think that'll be a really cool spot.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I knew they were trying to work on something to have a stadium back inside the district for the Commanders. It'd be cool if it was just right where RFK was.
I believe that, or I don't know if it'll be seated right there, but I think that'll be raised, and that might be a parking lot. It could be the shopping center. It could be restaurants. It could be the stadium right there, but that area is going to have it all.
Yeah, right there by the Navy Yard. It's a perfect place to do it.
It helps to have ridiculously rich owners, which is why
there's that.
Because Josh Harris took it over, and his group has a bunch of money, which is why I think the Panthers should demand more from their ownership, because that guy's ridiculously rich. The Teppers, that family is ridiculously rich. Just saying.
But think of all what David Tepper's brought to Charlotte.
Beyonce.
I mean, concerts, restaurants, running water, infrastructure, everything.
You mean I sold it short when I just yelled Beyonce?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for first goal scorer predictions. Right now, Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your first goal scorer predictions. Call in with who you think will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period you think they will score that goal. Keep in mind, pay attention to who's active and who's not expected to play today before you make your predictions. But we need 3 of you. The number to call is 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. We need a 3 of you, official contestants. If you call in and you're one of the 3 contestants, you will have a chance to win the ultimate sim racing experience at Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Located in Cary's, McGregor Village, and Greater Raleigh, visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. That's apexracinglab.com. And as always, right, the phone lines are open, 919-860-5326. They're filling up. If you don't get through on the phone lines and you still want to test your hockey knowledge, that's awesome. We encourage you to do so. All you have to do is head to our YouTube live stream, 99.9 The Fan, and you can go into the comments. You can go right underneath our live stream, and you leave a comment in the comments. Yeah, crazy stuff. And just say who you think will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period you think they will score it. Now, if you're on the YouTube live stream, you're in the comments, you will not be eligible for the prize, but you will be eligible for the praise. So you can actually double up with those that are making the official predictions. We need 3 different predictions from those calling in on air. But if you are in the comments, you can double up. You can second and third each other's predictions. It's all right there. Are we good to go, Dennis?
We are. My computer's not really allowing me to type stuff. We do have Taylor and Holly Springs as our first contestant.
All right, Taylor and Holly Springs. I was going to say, my computer's freezing up if yours isn't freezing up, so one of us is frozen.
It's definitely me.
All right, we do have Taylor and Holly Springs, though, ready to roll. Taylor, thank you very much for calling in. Who scores the first goal for the Canes tonight and in what period?
Absolutely. I'm going to go with our Canadian, Seth Jarvis, in the first period.
I hate to do this to you, but Seth Jarvis he's going to be resting tonight, getting ready for the postseason. Do you want to throw another name out there?
I did not know that.
Give
me Aho in the first.
You're going to get really frustrated by this entire experience. Aho. Also, I'll give you the list of those that are being held out, of which Jarvis, Aho, Blake not playing, Chatfield not playing, Martinook not playing, Slavin not playing, and Stahl not playing. Anyone else is available?
Thank you for that information. I think I'm going to go with Jankowski.
All right, Janky gets the call. Jankowski, and are you going to stick with first period for Jankowski?
I think I will. Since our entire team is going to be benching it. I still feel good about the first.
Kicking their feet up, relaxing, getting ready for the postseason.
Getting their massage in.
There you go. Thank you very much, Taylor. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you to make sure that you win. You get your prize if Jankowski scores in the first. Jim in Hillsborough, you are up next. Jim in Hillsborough, who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
Well, I'm going to go with Tyson Jost.
Okay.
In the first period, and it's going to be a dirty goal down in front.
Just dirty, grimy from Jost. All right. I like it. You know what? Having all these guys sitting out does make for a much more unusual first goal scorer prediction. Jim, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and stand the line, and Dennis will grab some info from you. And our final official contestant is Roy in Franklinton. Roy, thank you for calling in. Who scores the first goal for the Canes?
All right, I believe he's playing, and I'm going to go with Svechnikov in the first.
Svech is playing. He'll be on the expected to be on the first line with Kokeniemi and Taylor Hall. So Svech in the first is locked in for Roy. Appreciate you for calling in. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. I can tell you right now, we have never had a first goal scorer prediction combo of Jankowski, Jost, and Svech.
Yeah, right?
This is uncharted territory for us. Dennis, before you grab their info, do you want to give your first goal scorer?
Give me part of me's tempted to go with Skyler Brind'Amour on this one, but I'm going to go Bradley Nadau.
Okay.
Bradley Nadau in the first, because I think he'll get power play time. So
okay.
give me Bradley Nadau.
Are you going power play?
Give me on the power play.
All right. You are almost Levi on Twitter sent it to me. He said, "Give me Nadau in the first," but he said full strength goal. He thinks Nadau is just going to get a 5-on-5.
Micah said Bradley Nadau going to be electric, curl and drag, snipe to go up 1-0. Bell Center goes silent.
I'm fine. Like if Nadau has a big game, that'll make me happy. That'll put a smile on my face.
Brandon said Burns in the second, slow start with obviously lines and stuff are a little shaken up. So bomb from the point. So Burns in the second from Brandon. Allie says Kokoniemi in the first.
I like that one also. High usage tonight, I believe.
Comebread says Nadau in the first period as well.
Nadau. It's that thing. Draft picks are more exciting than players, right? It's the tantalizing nature of a prospect is like Nadau's going to score 500.
Let's see. Robert says I like Kokoniemi in the last minute of the first period, which is nice. But yeah, Comebread said Nadau in the first. Nick said Svetch in the second, and Chef Wolf says I have to go Brind'Amour in the first for the vibes.
I was going to do it. Skyler Brind'Amour in the first, baby. How can you not be romantic about hockey? Everybody wants to talk about nepotism this, nepotism that. Top shelf. Just an absolute electric goal from Skyler Brind'Amour, centering the fourth line. Set up by Stankoven. That's where I'm looking. I'm Stankoven to Brind'Amour. That's what I'm looking for. It's a crazy night. It's Montreal. Skyler Brind'Amour in the first. That's the only way to do it. I thought for a while that I was going to be the only one on the coach's son, but one commenter joined me. Appreciate it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is a mock draft Wednesday. When we come back, we look Panthers. We look mock draft. But first, I have to tell you all about Mainer Service Company. I don't want to. I wanted to be the only one picking Brind'Amour to score the first goal. I don't want to be the only one calling up Mainer Service Company when you need their help. I'm passing that along to all of you. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Mainer Service Company can do it all, and they're experts at it all. Right? This is not a jack of all trades, master of none. They have jacks that are masters of each. Right, so if you have a problem with plumbing, they've got experts. Right, they train them appropriately. They continuously train them. They don't assume that they're just figuring it out. All the latest stuff. It's every single year, and they're excited to have the trainings take place. They want to learn. They want to get better, and that really benefits you, the customer. So it's Mainer Service Company. The number to call is 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Let them know you heard about it here when you call. Once you get everything situated, right? All right, now that my plumbing is fixed or my electric is working. By the way, I did hear about it on 99.9 The Fan. The website is MainerServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Mock Draft Wednesday coming up next. We look beyond the first round. Everybody mock drafts the first round. We look beyond. Next.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Celebrate 50 years of adventure at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Enjoy award-winning performances and European-inspired attractions. Feel the excitement of thrilling rides, like the all-new Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. There's fun for the whole family. From conquering first rides to exploring immersive lands, there's always something worth celebrating. Only at the world's most beautiful theme park. Save up to 30% on tickets, fun cards, and memberships during our Spring Spectacular sale. Hurry, offer ends soon. Restrictions apply.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in the Triangle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, score the confidence you need to start your journey with the power and exceptional capability of a new Ford F-150. With available smart tech like Pro Power on board, it's game on when F-150 is part of your team. For great offers and to learn more about a new Ford F-150, go to buyfordnow.com or see your Carolina Ford dealer today. Always consult the owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know, my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Yes.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster, and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to Mock Draft Wednesday, this is just a little interesting based on the, I guess, brief flirtation he had with UNC. Colin Cowherd, Fox FS1, formerly of ESPN, tweeted out that he was told moments ago Nico Iamaleava is going to UCLA.
Okay.
Cowherd continues, family still claims it's not about the money, it's about the Tennessee offense. Cowherd was not told what the Bruins are paying. UCLA is not a bad landing spot if you're going to kind of torch your reputation and end up everybody calling you money hungry and like everything that's wrong with college sports. To then end at UCLA is not as bad as it could be for Nico Iamaleava.
And he's from Southern California.
Yeah, so maybe he'll go there, he'll thrive, and you're looking at the number 1 pick in the 2027 NFL draft.
Could be number 126.
Could be, but I think he needs 2 years in the UCLA offense to build himself up.
That's fair.
I don't think he'll be the number 1 pick in any draft. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's look at a mock draft. Speaking of the draft, how about that? Let's mock draft 2027.
What? Let's do it.
Arch Manning, number 1. That's the crazy part is people are acting like you can tank this year for Arch Manning next year. I don't think Arch Manning comes out next year.
We'll see.
I think he gets at least – he's a Manning. Mannings always take like an extra year to go pro before you think they would.
Sound like he needs the money.
He's making the money.
Yeah, I know. That's my point.
Oh, I thought you were saying because his family's rich.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's got his own cash.
Oh, I know.
He's got Texas quarterback with a Manning last name. He's got his own money, which has got to be hilarious. Don't worry, Uncle Peyton. I got the check. How ridiculous. So mock drafts are going on full steam ahead. What is it? A week from tomorrow is the NFL draft?
That's right.
Yowzers.
Round 1, week from tomorrow.
Week from tomorrow, the NFL draft. Mock drafts are happening all over the place. Every different kind of mock draft. This mock draft has all trades. This mock draft has all surprises. This mock draft is all chalk. This mock draft is done by beat writers. This mock draft is done by computers. Let's look to the top 3 rounds. I was listening to a podcast. It was what was it, Russillo, McShay, and Daniel Jeremiah.
Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network.
NFL Network, McShay of The Ringer, formerly of ESPN, draft guy. And then it was Russillo's pod. Daniel Jeremiah, and I thought this was an interesting way to describe this year's draft. It's a starters draft, not a stars draft. And what he was saying is, like, most years, if you walk away with a Hall of Famer, you're like, that's what I'm trying to do. This year, he doesn't think that's going to happen as much, but teams should expect, if they do it right, to walk away with 3 or 4 starters, which is, I mean, I don't want, like, it's, you know, I don't know if the sum of the parts add up to whatever, but 4 starters from a draft is a great draft.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Even if you don't have an all-pro mixed in there. If you just have 4 legit, long-term, getting second contract starters, that is a great draft, particularly if you don't have, like, you know, 4 firsts or something like that. I still think you, even in a draft that's a little underwhelming, I still think you swing for the fences in the first round. I just think, especially if a top 10 pick like the Panthers have, it's a little too conservative if you're picking 8th and going like, I really think this guy can be a NFL average starter at his position. I still think you want to hunt for Pro Bowlers and All Pros in the first round, but I have no problem choosing floor over ceiling in the second and third round this year. I have no problem if you're in the second round and you're looking at something and you're going, I don't know if this guy, I don't think this guy is ever going to be a $20 million a year player. But I think he could be like a captain 4 years from now. I think he could be a guy that is really good for us for a long time, even if he's not great for us ever. And that got me into ESPN Analytics has put out this draft predictor. And it's fun. I encourage you at some point, if you just have time to kill, not right now, obviously, because you're enthralled. But if you know, it's a downtime, can't sleep, go to this site, ESPN Analytics, look up the NFL Draft Predictor, because you can click on every single pick, and it'll tell you their prediction down to a percentage who's going to get picked there, and you can flip it, and they'll give you down to a percentage who they expect to be available there. I thought this was interesting. For the 57th pick, they have 42 players with between a 0.5 and 3.5% chance of getting picked. 42 players within 3 percentages of getting picked. So it's truly anybody's guess when you get past like the first, 30 picks. That's absurd. So
it's really like, who do you want?
Exactly. So it's, what are you looking for? If the Panthers said, I want to take someone that can play week 1 at a position of need, even if it they're less likely than some of these other guys to end up in the Hall of Fame, I'm okay with that. Hall of Fame is going to be a long shot anyway. So I'm thinking, where is a dramatic position of need that they are unlikely to fill in the first round? Safety. I don't know who's going to start for them at safety. But I also don't believe in taking a safety at 8 overall. So second round, and the most likely pick in the second round for the Panthers, according to ESPN Analytics, was Penn State safety Kevin Winston Jr. Right there near the top was Notre Dame safety Xavier Watts. I'm good with those picks. I'm good with those. They'll slot right in. They'll be at the top. They'll be penciled into the top of the depth chart the moment the pick is made. And if you look at some of the other names associated with that pick, it's cornerbacks. Ben Morrison out of Notre Dame. ECU's local guy, Siobhan Revel. He is they're both coming off big injuries. But you look at them, tall. They've maybe made more splash plays. They might be higher ceiling, but they also have lower floors, and they likely won't be able to jump right into the mix due to the injury history. They have to kind of incubate a little bit. Again, if they take those picks, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I do get what Jeremiah is saying with, you need to make sure you walk away with 3 or 4 starters. I think you're more likely to get that with a little bit more conservative in the middle rounds. Swing for the fences in the first round. I'm fine with that. It's hilarious to me when somebody's like, just take an offensive guard because they're going to play for 10 years. I'm going well, there's a reason why nobody takes offensive guards that high, because it's way more valuable to take a swing at the all-pro edge rusher. even if it's less likely to hit. Once you get to the second and third round, I'm looking towards positions of need, and I'm looking towards guys that can play right now, which means look for what I call Eagle strategy. Look for guys that have played in big games for big programs. Look for teams that have played in the CFP. Look for teams that have won the CFP. Look for Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State. Those schools, you just know that they can perform in front of 100,000 and big stages.
That's why I like Xavier Watts.
Xavier Watts, Notre Dame safety.
It fits that bill perfectly. That guy can go in and start for the Carolina Panthers as a free safety for the next 8 years.
And might not make a Pro Bowl, but also
that's okay.
Do you know, safeties are a bit like offensive linemen in that if we don't really say your name a ton, you're probably doing a pretty good job. Because as we've learned over the last few years with the Panthers, there's a lot of, why are you 5 yards behind the guy on the deep ball? Why did you bite on the play action? There's a lot of that. Why'd you miss the tackle?
Xavier Woods.
Are you happy going from Xavier Woods to Xavier Watts?
Yes. Yes, I am.
That's just a little like the names are too close for comfort. Little Usher. You remind me of the same thing that made me want you is the thing that makes me change my mind. Last thing I'll say, and I thought this was interesting, looking at the percentages. A bunch of the names that were most likely to pick for pick 57 were the same names that they were most likely to pick at 74. For example, Kevin Winston Jr., the other tight end or other safety we were talking about, played at Penn State. He had the number one highest percentage chance, 3.5% roughly, to be drafted by the Panthers at 57. Pick 57, that's in the second round. If you drop down boxed all the way to pick 74, which is the Panthers' next pick in the third round, he had the second best percentage chance to be drafted 74th. So I can't emphasize this enough. Second, third, fourth round really is like, take your pick. You're at the library, right? It's like there's a book for everybody here, but it's very rare that you're all going to pick the same book. Like, just take what you want, and there's not a bad choice amongst them. There might not be a great choice either. There's just choices. Make yours. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting five coming up next. There's some fake playoff games tonight, and there's some real playoff games coming up. 2 different professional leagues. Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov, tick-tack, tied in Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save it, rebound. Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Cool people, good times. America's favorite car show is back. The Good Guys 10th Griot's Garage North Carolina Nationals presented by Tremec. This Friday and Saturday at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds in Raleigh. Cruise on out and see over 1,500 of the Southeast's finest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Autocross racing. A Saturday night demolition derby. Vendor midway. Live entertainment and more. This Friday and Saturday at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds. Details at good-guys.com.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I ordered the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Get your faves for less. Buy a sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.50. Add any size Sprite for $1.49. Price of participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
The place to be is at First Horizon Stadium in Cary when the North Carolina Courage hosts Scooby-Doo and Pups at the Pitch on April 19th, presented by Veterinary Emergency Group. Have a Scooby scavenger hunt and watch the Courage play Bay FC. Tickets at nccourage.com/tickets.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom, and that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, here to share why Bailey's is consistently voted best place to buy your diamond. First off, our amazing selection of diamonds is unparalleled. We also have hundreds of the most coveted engagement ring styles to fit any budget. You can also utilize our vast selection of loose diamond inventory and custom workshop to create your dream ring. And if that's not enough, we also offer an unprecedented lifetime diamond guarantee. I invite you to come see for yourself. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQ Bar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text EAT to 64,000. That's EAT to 64,000.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRL meteorologist Mike Bays. Cool day out there and a colder night tonight. We have a frost advisory for our western counties from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. Temperatures dipping into the mid-30s. 41 here in the Triangle. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 72 the high.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell, down 699 points to 39,669.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The starting five here in the drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan on a hockey night in Carolina. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan when the Canes take on Montreal tonight. There will be Stormwatch featuring Adam Gold. It's a road game, so I wouldn't expect. Remember last year, Jarvis jumped in the booth during the rest games for the main contributors.
That's right.
I wouldn't expect it this year, but you never know.
I wouldn't hate it. I would not hate it.
It was like a full period, if I remember, right?
Yeah.
Or did it just feel that way? Yeah. I mean, Jarvis is he was 22 at the time. He's got a long NHL career ahead of him. Has to start planning, right? They might need a broadcaster in 2045 somewhere in the studio. Where was I? Oh, let's start the starting five. Starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So Skyler Brind'Amour got the call up. Skyler Brind'Amour is a member of the Canes organization, a center that had been playing for the Chicago Wolves in the AHL. That's the minor league affiliate of the Canes. And in case you couldn't tell by the last name, Brind'Amour, he is related to Rod Brind'Amour. He is his son. Boy, has that drawn up some conversation. But first, let's hear from Rod on being able to coach his son, Skyler, in his first NHL game. It's
Obviously,
coming.
It's a special moment for Skyler and myself. I mean, I've watched him all his life and how hard he's worked, and so it's nice for him to get this opportunity. It's well deserved, and we'll see what happens.
See what happens. I really hope he gets a goal. I would. There are certain things, and actually, I don't know if it's because of the Brind'Amour stuff going on. My algorithms have been bringing me a lot of Griffey Jr., Griffey Sr. stories, and I don't know why. It's cool. It's just cool. When father and son moments that happen on Little League fields all over the country and the world, when they happen at the highest level, it's just cool. I am not somebody that is going to rain on the parade of this and say, Nepo baby. I'm not someone that's going to do that. Matter of fact, I would push back against some of that. But also, even if you think that's why, who cares? Dennis, I know you have a take on the Rod Brind'Amour, Skyler Brind'Amour situation.
Yeah, people want to say nepotism, and here's the thing. Keep in mind, don't lose the facts. Skyler Brind'Amour was drafted in the NHL back in 2017 by the Edmonton Oilers. That's before Rod Brind'Amour was even a head coach in the league. He was just an assistant at the time.
Before, I believe, he went to Quinnipiac and won a national championship. Okay.
He went to Quinnipiac. He was still in juniors at the time, but he went to Quinnipiac for 4 years, won a national championship, was a captain on the team, and then was with the Florida Panthers organization last year. He played all of last year with the Charlotte Checkers, who's the AHL affiliate of the Florida Panthers.
He played in the preseason. He played against
up here in Raleigh. So it was. They actually, Paul Maurice, the head coach of Florida, started Skyler in that game, which, again, was
another cool moment. Not as cool as tonight, but still a cool moment.
And then he's also third on the team in Chicago with the Wolves, and goals scored this season was 16. So it's not like this guy is just only reason is there is because his last name's Brind'Amour.
And they're bringing up Nadau, who's one of the top goal scorers.
Yes.
So it's not like they're ignoring the best.
Justin Robidas has come up this year. Ryan Suzuki has come up this year. I mean, they brought up Dominic Fensori. They brought him. He's a defenseman. They brought him up along with Riley Stillman. And so people want to scream nepotism. Again, don't ignore the facts. Simple as that. The guy was drafted into the NHL by another organization, was signed by another organization last year. The guy is a pro hockey player. Is he an everyday NHL player? No. But that doesn't mean he can't come up and play 2 meaningless games for Carolina at the end of the regular season?
Not yet.
Not yet. But he's 25.
Yeah. I'm just going to take it for what it is. We'll talk about this more later on. I think it's cool.
I think it's awesome.
I think it's cool. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
I lost my number 4.
Just count to 4. Just count to 4.
3, 4, all together.
I would have loved if Dennis just 1,
just did
2,
the count.
3,
1,
4,
2, 3, 4, all together.
Have you seen that SNL? It's a Saturday Night Live sketch where I don't think they do it anymore. It used to be like they were at the offices of Pandora or Spotify or something.
Yeah.
And they would have Bruno Mars or Ariana Grande or somebody that can sing. And they would go, oh no, the Celine Dion channel is about to go down. And they would then have to all right, it's going down in 3, 2, 1. And they'd have to sing it, and they just ran through it. That gave me those vibes. Oh no, the computer's frozen. Just do it yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4. All together. No easy transition. NBA play-in games are going on as we saw last night and as they continue today. NBA play-in games. I want to be clear. There's a difference between play-in and playoff. Play-in games are not playoff games. These stats, they're nowhere. Did you know that? These stats,
they just don't exist.
They don't exist. The NBA keeps records for regular season statistics. They keep record for postseason statistics. Play-in games go in neither bucket. These games are just for entertainment purposes only. Golden State won last night in a very, very exciting game against Memphis. Went down to the wire, big shots made on both sides. You'll never hear this in the NBA. For those of you that say nobody plays defense in the NBA, Golden State forced a crucial 5-second violation late in the game. They just defended the heck out of the inbound. Memphis had nowhere to go. They got a 5-second violation. Orlando also won their game against Atlanta. So those Golden State and Orlando are in the playoffs now, both 7 seeds.
I know Cole Anthony, former UNC guard, had a big day for Orlando
26,
yesterday.
led Orlando in scoring.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that Orlando depends so heavily on a UNC player and a Duke player.
Yeah, Paulo Banchero
and Cole Anthony are both like parts of their core. Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah.
Wendell, also in the mix there. So a lot of heavy triangle flavor from college on 7th seed Orlando. Tonight, there is a Miami at Chicago game, Dallas at Sacramento. These are for 9th and 10th place. Okay? So the winner of that one, those two, will go on to play the losers of last night's game. So this is why the play-in games don't count. They take too much explanation. The games yesterday were for 7th place. The loser became 8th place. Now they are going to go to Friday, where they will await a 8th, 9th place game for 8th place. The losers tonight are done. So the games tonight, Miami at Chicago, Dallas at Sacramento, they have to win tonight and tomorrow to make the playoffs. If either team would have won last night, they would have been, whoever won last night was in. They're all elimination games. They'll be exciting, but they're artificially exciting. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3. This playoff that we're about to talk about is real, okay? It is factual. It is not play-in. It is playoff. Dennis, how much is still up in the air when it comes to the NHL postseason? I believe the Western Conference is locked.
Western Conference is set. Minnesota Wild clinched their playoff spot yesterday. The St. Louis Blues are in as well. The only thing that needs to be settled, and it actually involves the Carolina Hurricanes tonight, Montreal with a point tonight in any way, shape, or form. 1 point locks them into the final wild card spot in the Eastern Conference.
If they walk away with 0, Columbus is still alive?
If they lose in regulation, so the Canes win in regulation today over Montreal, Columbus is still alive. Now, Columbus would have to win their final game, and Montreal has to lose their final game in regulation. Actually, this is Montreal's final game. So it leaves the door open. So if Montreal loses in regulation tonight and Columbus gets a win in their next game, I think Columbus should be in based on regulation wins.
So basically what we're expecting in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference is Toronto versus Ottawa, Tampa against Florida,
Yes.
Lightning versus the Panthers.
So Lightning versus Panthers, Lightning have home ice. Maple Leafs versus the Senators, Leafs have home ice. Capitals will take on whomever the second wild card seed is.
Either Montreal or Columbus.
And Canes have home ice against the New Jersey Devils in the East. That's set.
All right. And in the Western Conference, Winnipeg home ice, St. Louis will be the visitor in that one.
Yep.
Dallas home ice, Colorado will be the visitor in that
Which
one.
is going to be a heater of a series.
Which is Mikko started, Mikko finished. There was a Canes in the middle there.
Yeah. They brokered that deal.
But yeah, via. Mikko went from Colorado to Dallas via Carolina. So that, I mean, yeah, boy. Let's get ready for that. Vegas, home ice, Minnesota will be visiting them.
Yep.
And the LA Kings with Edmonton visiting them, I believe, is how it all shakes out.
That is correct. Western Conference is set.
That is how it'll play out. And obviously, for obvious reasons, Colorado, Dallas, but there's a lot of really good matchups there. 2 Canadian teams. Toronto and Ottawa, that's always fun.
It's going to be a lot of hockey night in Canada right there.
Yep. 2 Florida teams going up against it.
I know, against each other, which is kind of wild.
That's going to be fun. There's some really good matchups. Kings Oilers is low-key, matchup-wise, super exciting. That's just fun hockey a lot of places.
Hey, a lot of people actually have the Kings going all the way to the Cup, potentially.
It doesn't make no sense. I don't know if that's my pick, but if you make it, I can justify it.
I don't know, you got to get past Vegas possibly in the second round. I will say, for myself personally, outside of the Carolina Hurricanes series against the New Jersey Devils, 2 series I'm looking forward to watching most: Tampa, Florida, Stars, Avs.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dallas, Colorado would be probably the same 2 for me, but in reverse order.
Yeah.
But that tracks. That's fun. Now here's the. This is a question we don't have an answer for. We don't know when the Canes are going to start the postseason. It'll be Sunday. It'll be Sunday or Monday. I saw that Adam tweeted it out yesterday. Just like, I don't know. We're all getting asked a lot, as if there's that's not an us decision. That's not like a media knows decision. That is a league decision with their big TV partner decision. So we can't help you out.
And there are people that we know that work for the team.
Yeah,
we're asked them. They're like, we don't know.
So we are both the being pestered and the pesterers, and nobody knows unless everybody is pulling a real fast one on me.
I at the last Canes game, I asked a front office employee, like someone very high in the front office. I said, "Do you have any idea?" They go, "No." I said, "I wish they would tell us."
If I had to guess, it is Sunday afternoon or Monday night.
I think it's Monday. That's my gut feeling tells me Monday.
My gut feeling says like right after church time Sunday, like noon Sunday.
Gosh, I hope not.
I hope it's Sunday night, but it's not going to be. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the 2 of us.
Can you fire up As the Portal Turns?
On the latest episode of As the Portal Turns.
There's actually 2 portals turning at the same time right now. There's basketball portals turning and there's football portals turning. We'll do basketball first. Last time on As the Portal Turns, Alabama transfer Jaron Stevenson had chosen UNC. This time, his former teammate, Darion Reed, top 10 prospect in the transfer portal from the University of Alabama, is taking his first official visit to NC State. Will the former teammates suddenly be rivals? Stay tuned on As the Portal Turns. The Wolfpack, according to Pack Pride, have already worked a Zoom call with Reed, one of the top prospects in the transfer portal, Alabama transfer, and now they are getting his very first official visit. So that feels like significant interest from both sides. He is, as we look at the prospect page here, Darion Reed is 6'8", played quite a bit for Alabama this past year. He was a consensus 5-star. Actually, wait, I don't know how much he played this past year. I was looking at the wrong stats page. We'll have to find out. Either way, now I'm curious. 6 points, 3 rebounds, a little bit more than half an assist per game. He played in 24 games, started 3 of them for Alabama. So not a ton of opportunity there, but he is in the portal and appears to at least be open to talking with NC State, which would be interesting because his teammate did just go to UNC. Happens, I guess, more often than it used to. In the portal football edition of As the Portal Turns, new coaches after spring ball, seeing players run away. Handful from UNC hit the portal today. Today was the first day it opened up. The official trend, you could actually put your name in the transfer portal for college football. The big surprise from UNC would be Bo Atkinson. Led the team in sacks this past year, 7.5. And you would think, just kind of super surface level with not much context or nuance, that Bill Belichick would be not in favor of guys that get after the quarterback leaving his program because he is a defensive-minded individual and he understands how important it is to make opposing teams' quarterbacks uncomfortable. But still, like, no matter who it is, and this is just a fact of college football life, no matter who your coach is a new coach. Like, they're not his guys. He didn't recruit them. He has no loyalty to them, and vice versa. So players leaving UNC, not surprising. Not UNC, Wake Forest with a new coach. Bunch of players in the transfer portal. Not everything is a fit. I actually think one of the biggest flaws of the way we used to handle transfers is that you could get a new coach and you didn't have a way to get out kind of quick. Because I'll put it this way: as people you don't vibe with every coach. Sometimes like your personalities don't link up. Sometimes you don't speak the same language, and you know that pretty quick. I used to feel bad for freshmen when they showed up, and you would just be like, "Ooh, you and your position coach you're not cut from this. You wouldn't have been friends in high school, and you're just gonna have to eat that for the next 4 years because there was no way out." Now a new coach comes in, you give it a spring practice. I said this earlier. I think it's good to give it a spring practice. Like see if maybe first impressions were a little off, but you can work through it. Once you give it a spring practice, hit the portal, it's all good. Now it's on the coach to go find better players to replace, and it's on the player to go find a better position for them elsewhere. Atkinson is a local guy, though, from Raleigh. Maybe he
went to
wants
Leesville Road High School.
Maybe he wants to stay local. Maybe he wants to stay in the ACC. I would imagine 7.5 sacks for an ACC team is going to give him quite a few options in the transfer portal. Quite a few. NC State did lose to the portal Kendrick Raphael, Dakari Collins, two skill position players, running back and wide receiver, who contributed last year, weren't A options. They weren't the main characters, but both had success, made plays. I was pleasantly surprised by Dakari Collins last year. Wide receiver. They're in the portal. They'll have landing spots. Anything to add, Dennis? All right.
Nope.
That's number 2. Let's hit number 1.
Go one!
Canes at Montreal tonight. Hockey night in Carolina, although it's in Montreal. But the broadcast will be right here on 99.9 The Fan. You can hear Adam Gold with Stormwatch half hour before puck drop, and then obviously Mike Maniscalco, Trip Tracy, and the crew for the broadcast. It's a really interesting one here. This is why fantasy football leagues end before the last game of the NFL season, because a lot of what's going on today in the NHL comes down to, do you care or not? And the Hurricanes don't have really anything to play for. They're in the first round of the playoffs playing against the Devils, and they have home ice, and that ain't going to change with a win, and it ain't going to change with a loss. So what are they doing? They're resting their guys. Bunch of players, top line resting, Slavin resting, Jalen Chatfield resting, Jordan Stahl resting. Do you know what's actually, I don't know if we talked about enough earlier. Actually, first of all, let's hear from Rod. Then I have a point that I want to run by Dennis. Rod Brind'Amour understands. Oh, by the way, Montreal is playing for their playoff life. They need a point tonight to secure their postseason, so they're going to be desperate while the Canes are chilling. Here's Rod Brind'Amour on that dichotomy.
We're at different spots, right? The game doesn't mean anything for us as far as where we're going to fit, but it means a lot to certain guys in that room, and so that's important. We want to give our best effort, and that's what we want to do every night. Obviously, we know what's coming at us. We know that they have to win. They don't have to, but I know the mindset is going to be they have to win. So we expect their best, and it doesn't matter who's in our line or not. I expect the best from our guys.
Do you know what we're not talking enough about? And all that is true about Rod, right? Whoever's in there is going to play hard. That's a culture thing. The guys that aren't playing are not going to be, shooting spitballs in the locker room. They'll be locked in. At the beginning of the year, if I would have told you this, Jackson Blake is not only going to be on the roster opening day, but he is going to be playing enough and well enough that when they rest Aho and Jarvis and Slavin and all of these guys that are proven, have been in the league, they're also going to be resting the rookie, Jackson Blake, to get him ready for a postseason run where he's going to be a main character. I don't know how many people would have believed me on that one if I said, I'm from the future and Jackson Blake is also going to be resting. They'd look at me and go, crazy guy, get out of here. But credit to Jackson Blake for building, he's kind of indispensable at this point. He's a guy that you can't afford to lose at this point in the season because of the role he's going to play in the postseason. That's not easy, right? It's kind of it's a great counter to the Rod and his vets, right? When it's Rod Brind'Amour only loves his vets. It's like, actually, Rod Brind'Amour loves his vets and his young guys that play the game the way he wants it played and show that they're willing to do the things he wants them to do.
Like
right?
Seth Jarvis.
I was just going to throw out there. Jarvis, Blake. I'm not saying there's a lot of them. I'm not saying there's a ton of rookies or a ton of, young 20-somethings that are going to just immediately jump into the rotation. But it can be done, right? You can become so valuable that you get the rest day towards the end of the year if through ups and downs, right? Because Jackson Blake had both this year. Through droughts, through scoring bursts, through goals that felt lucky and goals that felt awesome, through all of it, as long as you're still playing two-way hockey, back-checking like you should, forechecking like you should, being where you're supposed to be, continuing to generate high-leverage chances, Rod will give you responsibility. He will. And then you just have to hope that he develops into a way like Seth Jarvis, who, it's probably this offseason we'll have the conversation, but it's probably time to start talking about, is Jarvis your best player? Like you want to keep having that style of development where Rod gives the young guy some responsibility. Young guy makes good on the responsibility. Rod gives you a little more responsibility. Young guy makes good on the responsibility. And you keep going back and forth like that until eventually, like, Jarvis isn't old, right? Jarvis is, 23 now? Is he up to 23?
He's 23 now. Just turned 23.
Seth Jarvis is 23 years old.
What
and
youngin'.
And second straight 30-goal season, trusted in the biggest of situations. Like that's what you're looking for when a young guy gets the type of opportunity that Jackson Blake got this year. And, by the way, you hope to see, like, Bradley Nadau play well tonight, play well in the Ottawa game if he gets a chance, and then maybe next year, because he's still a teenager if I'm not mistaken, or at least
19.
At least was a teenager most of this year. You hope then if the opportunity arises next year for a 20-year-old to earn some responsibility, he's ready for it. It's not impossible. It's just difficult, as it should be. Nobody said, playing in the NHL and having huge minutes on a contender has to be easy. So I like that Jackson Blake is off the ice tonight with so many of the veterans.
By the way, Bradley Nadau announced today the AHL All-Rookie team.
No. It's crazy.
By the way, 2 of the 6 guys, because 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie on the All-Rookie team for the AHL, 2 of them were drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes. The other one, Ville Kuivinen. Kuivinen was part of the deal that got Jake Gensel here from Pittsburgh.
Right.
So he was
drafted by the Canes, but
drafted by the Canes, but plays in the Pittsburgh organization now.
All right, well.
Hey, shows how good they draft.
I was going to say, and it confirms your evaluation a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? We knew what we were talking about. Maybe we should have.
That's why we traded him.
Yeah. That's why we valued him in those trade negotiations and only moved him when we got a point-per-game playoff scorer. Who's, by the way, I think he's up to 40 goals, I think I saw the other day.
Jake Gensel?
Yeah. Jake Gensel, that's one. Now that we don't hate Jake Gensel as much because Mikko Rantanen took most of the attention off of Gensel, Gensel becomes a bit of like a, man, I wish we would have been able to keep that guy.
41 goals, 39 assists.
Yeah.
That was a career high 41 goals, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. That he
and a career high plus 19.
The whole Jake Gensel saga takes on a very different kind of tenor now that Mikko Rantanen has taken the, like, when you're just seeing red and you're mad, it used to be at Gensel, now it's at Rantanen.
Yeah.
So a little more clear-eyed, you look at Gensel, you're like, you know what? I really wish we would have come up with that $8 million a year a little earlier. That's a tough one to deal with.
The line with Gensel, like Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov is just, it's a cheat code.
Well, Kucherov, I believe, is he going to lead the league in points?
I think
I saw
so.
that the other day, yeah. Not the first time, but still impressive. All right, we're done highlighting other teams. The Canes are also good. Way to go, Jackson Blake. Enjoy your night off. We need numbers game contestants. How about that? But first, before we get numbers game contestants, get your dialing fingers ready if you want to play the numbers game. Matter of fact, I know this guy's a fan of the numbers game. Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. The funny part is, oftentimes in the numbers game, right, 1 point, that's all the difference. Right? You get 1 point. That's the difference between winning and losing. Well, in mortgage lending and in interest rates and mortgage rates, 1 point, that's huge. But here's the deal. Don't spend a ton of money to buy down a rate, a point or 2 points or 3 points, because that's so much money out of your pocket. When chances are, right, if you get a 30-year mortgage, at some point rates are going to come down. I would hope. They'll come down a little bit. They'll come down a point, maybe 2 points. Who knows? Maybe 3 points. Who knows? But when that happens, if you can pounce, right, and refinance again with a no closing cost loan like you get from Miller Lending, no costs, no fees, no third-party fees, no money out of your pocket. When rates drop a point, bang, pounce, refinance. Even if they go up for a little bit, once they're down, boom, pounce, refinance. You can get the lower monthly payment without having to spend all of that money to buy down your rate, especially when the average length you have a mortgage, the average length before you refi or sell your house or move or whatever it is less than 4 years, and it's been that way for decades. So, you know, why pay down a ton of money to get a lower monthly payment when you can just keep that money in your pocket, and chances are you'll be refi, you'll be doing something to that mortgage within 4 years anyway. Give Miller Lending a call. The number to call is 919-447-3377. Matter of fact, they're locally owned right here in Cary. So when you call, you'll be talking to someone nearby. 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. Now we need some numbers game contestants. Call in now, 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Blink-182. What was the line from yesterday? Nobody likes you when you're 23. There you go. Coastal Credit Union Music Park on September 3rd is where Blink-182 will be playing. A pair of tickets goes to the numbers game winner. 919-860-5326 if you want to play numbers game next.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, you'll get the Giants goal!
Let's go, Canes!
Kochetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go, Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $150 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 to 3.8 to 9.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Fun awaits at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, picking out your new Jeep from all the amazing deals. How about a 2024 Jeep Wrangler for 20% off? That's up to $15,000 off. Prefer a new 2024 Jeep Grand Wagoneer? Have fun choosing because they are all now $25,000 off at John Heister. See dealer for full details. Go anywhere, do anything in your new Jeep. For best selection, get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington today.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem.
Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. I am in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I tell people this all the time. If I am putting my name on a commercial, then the company that I'm doing it for has to be great at one thing, and that is customer service. You guys are great at everything, but that's probably your specialty.
Absolutely. We pride ourselves on customer service. We have over 850 Google reviews, and we have a 4.9 rating. We're one of the few companies, too, that takes absolutely zero down payment. We don't require a deposit, and we've been in business since 1961. Whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, gutters, we're happy to help you with any of your home improvement needs. We have a full staff of project managers, and then we'll also, when the job's done, have someone come through, do a walkthrough when it's done. We'll communicate before the project starts, let you know where the material's at, ETAs, all that good stuff, and keep you on track.
You guys are awesome. To your credit. 4.9. Who didn't give you a 5? 800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. James in Morrisville, Ben in Raleigh are the contestants. The prize for today, tickets to see Blink-182 when they come to the area. Let me give you the details there. September 3rd, they'll be at Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Blink-182 tour. Before we get started, as always, we have to ask a question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. James in Morrisville, are you there and ready?
I'm ready.
James, can you hear me? Try speaking again. You're a little garbled.
Yes, I am here and I'm ready.
There you go. That's better. Earlier today, we had Jeremy Piven on the show. For I don't know, people that are my age, I mean, it's Ari Gold. I mean, he is one of the most iconic actors because of a character he played on Entourage. So I'll ask you this, James. Who is the we'll just say greatest television character of all time, in your opinion? Who's your favorite? Who's the greatest television character of all time?
It's probably got to be Jax Taylor on Sons of Anarchy.
Okay. Jax Taylor, Sons of Anarchy. Answer locked in. We'll see if Dennis picks that answer to go first. Ben in Raleigh, are you there?
I am.
Same question to you in honor of Jeremy Piven, who played the unbelievable character Ari Gold. We are asking, what is the greatest television character of all time? Your favorite, the greatest. Take the question how you want to and give us an answer.
First thing that came to my mind, Tony Soprano.
Tony Soprano. That is another good one. Dennis, you have, what is it, Jax from Sons of Anarchy,
yeah.
And you have Tony Soprano from The Sopranos.
I don't know if James is trying to lean into the fact that I ride a motorcycle with the whole Sons of Anarchy thing, but that's
your audience.
A really tough
Play
one.
to your audience.
Both tremendous characters. I think I got to go with Tony Soprano.
Okay.
I think I got to go with Tony Soprano. Both great answers, though, but I'm going to go Tony Soprano.
I've never seen Sons of Anarchy, but one of my old teammates who I was good friends with had a dog named Jax, named after Sons of Anarchy. So there's at least some people out there that are as good with it as you are, James. But Ben is the choice, so he gets to go first. James, stay on the line. You'll have your chance. Ben, are you there and ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right, the categories are NFL, the Smith family, all players with the last name Smith. NFL, the Johnson family, all players with the last name Johnson. NBA players who are amongst the top 100 active players in most NBA games played with no playoff appearances. Or NHL, Hurricanes only.
I'm going to go with NFL Johnsons.
All right. These are all players whose last name is Johnson. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Chad Johnson, Cincinnati Bengals.
85.
Correct. Deontay Johnson, Carolina Panthers.
11.
Incorrect. Keyshawn Johnson, New York Jets.
10.
Incorrect. Deontay Johnson, Carolina Panthers.
85.
Incorrect. Keyshawn Johnson, New York Jets.
7.
Incorrect. Deontay Johnson, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Incorrect. Keyshawn Johnson, New York Jets.
11.
I'm not going to say you were far off, but you weren't exactly getting closer either. You were just kind of in the middle there. You got 85 with Chad Johnson. Deontay Johnson with the Panthers wore number 5. People like to, for that brief moment where everyone is really excited about him as a Panther, they like to call Bryce Young to Deontay Johnson 9-5. That was short-lived.
Okay.
Keyshawn Johnson with the Jets wore number 19. So you were in kind of the right neighborhood, just not the right house. Got one. You avoided the shutout. We'll see if it's enough. Stay on the line. That means James in Morrisville. James, are you there?
Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm ready to go.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, the Smith family, all players whose last name is Smith. NBA, most games played, no playoffs, top 100 players in that category amongst active players. Or NHL, Hurricanes only.
Let me try out the NFL Smiths.
All right. These are all players with the last name Smith. I will give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. You need 2 for the win, and your time starts when you hear the horn. Steve Smith, Baltimore Ravens.
89.
Correct. Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks.
7.
Correct. Rod Smith, Denver Broncos.
84.
Incorrect. Jimmy Smith, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Pass.
Shaw Smith Wade, Carolina Panthers.
I have no idea. On these last 3. 12.
Incorrect. Rod Smith, Denver Broncos.
81.
Incorrect. Jimmy Smith, Jacksonville Jaguars.
7.
I'll tell you what, you got enough for the win, but not a single one more. You won an inch or a mile. Winning is winning, but you just squeaked it out. Geno Smith was number 7. Steve Smith, 89. Those were enough for the win. Rod Smith, we were looking for 80. Jimmy Smith, we were looking for 82. And Shaw Smith Wade, we were looking for 26 for those of you playing at home. That is. But, James, you are the winner. Congratulations. You get Blink-182 tickets.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
There you go. Stay on the line. Dennis has to grab some info from you. Dennis, before you grab that info, greatest television character.
Greatest television character of all time. I might go Michael Scott, The Office.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's not my cup of tea, but I guarantee you there's a lot of people going, of course, or even someone else from The Office.
Like
Office had a
Dwight Schrute was also a great character.
Office had a moment there, and then had like 7 moments after once it hit streaming. I don't know where I would go with that. There's a lot of options there. I'm gonna cop out. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Real quick, before I gotta do a read and all that stuff here and get some information, I have a little breaking news for you.
Really?
This comes from Hayes Fawcett, National Recruiting Transfer Portal reporter of On3. Breaking: North Carolina quarterback Ryan Brown plans to enter the transfer portal. He tells On3 Sports he transferred in from Purdue back in January.
Yeah, that's to me. Oh, so you're going to be buyers at in the second transfer window after you bought me in the first transfer window, even if the price wasn't the same. If you're going to openly flirt with Nico Iamaleava and be linked to Gio Lopez, quarterbacks already on campus are going to have a bit of a confused sense of self. But do you know what else happens? Do you know what else this is? Bill Belichick said they're going to run it like a pro program. You get called in at camp, you can be cut by week 1, you can be replaced. If you're a pro program, you're a pro program, and there's no tears. There's no crying in football at the pro level. We might dive into that a bit more after the break. But before we get to that, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Loan Pronto. Interest rates, they've dropped. It's time to give Loan Pronto a call. If you're looking to get cash out of your home equity, refinance out of a high rate, or maybe do a home improvement project, Loan Pronto can make it happen in a matter of days. Take advantage of this opportunity and get tens or even hundreds of thousands out of your home equity. Pay off all your credit cards. Pay off car loans. The average homeowner cuts their monthly bills by $1,000. Get more info at loanpronto.com. Inflation and higher costs have put a lot of people in a stressful financial situation. But if you own a home, there is a way out. Loan Pronto has multiple options that can help you get the financial freedom that you deserve. Most homeowners get their cash in less than 2 weeks, and most don't even need an appraisal. Do the smart thing. Stop paying insane rates on those credit cards. Wipe them all out. Get a lower mortgage rate. Get some money for that home improvement project. And it all starts by getting in contact with the experts at this, Loan Pronto. LoanPronto.com or call now, 919-381-1760, or visit LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back with more reaction to Ryan Brown, already hitting the transfer portal. He was a UNC Tar Heel for 4 months. Brutal. Stick around. Heineken Silver is a world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. It keeps things light and refreshing all year round. It's like rain showing up to cool things off and then politely leaving. It's like cracking open a window and nailing the cross breeze. So, as we move into the warmer weather, grab a crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver and taste the difference. Only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Available at your local Heineken retailer or for delivery at Heineken.com/silver now. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
Hello, Scott Forbes, head baseball coach, University of North Carolina. When it comes to choosing a dealership, I stick with Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Growing up in Sanford, I've been fortunate to be lifelong friends with Will Wilkinson. My family and I have been buying and having our vehicles serviced at Wilkinson for many, many years. Great service, competitive prices, and most importantly, a place you can trust. Go where I go. Go see my longtime friend Will Wilkinson at Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQBar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
Most protein bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQBar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with superior brain and body fuel.
Now you can get 20% off all IQBar products plus free shipping when you text EAT to 64,000. That's EAT to 64,000.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and the NBA play-in tournament is almost upon us, and FanDuel is giving all new customers a chance at $250 in bonus bets. Join today, place your first $5 wager. If that wins, $250 of their money belongs to you. Three-pointers, steals, assists, whatever. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. It's FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. It's the NBA's play-in tournament. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster, and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. For those of you just tuning in, Ryan Brown has hit the transfer portal. That, according to Hayes Fawcett, is that a recruiting insider, transfer portal insider.
With On 3?
On 3. I wanted to make sure I said the right outlet.
So, yes, the Ryan Brown, can we ever say former UNC quarterback if he never actually...
Well, I mean, Mike James is a former NC State basketball player. He never played for NC State. He was hurt the entire year, and now he's going to Vanderbilt.
But at least he was there during the actual season.
True. Well, spring practice. Either way, Ryan Brown joined UNC as a transfer in January. He is in the transfer portal today. So basically, there's two windows of transfer portals. There's one right after the season, and there's one right after spring ball. And he jumped in the portal and got out at UNC the first one, and then at the next stop, he's back in the portal going somewhere else. This, first of all, I think it just shows the way of the world. This is, you know what's happening all across the country right now? And I'm not talking a specific instance, but I'm talking generally. There are players that after the season agreed to NIL contracts with their teams. They then went to spring practice. Now they're going back to their teams and asking for more money, right? That agreement isn't binding for anything, so I need more money or else I'm going back in the portal. That is brutal, but it's also a two-way street, right? So now, hey, we made an agreement in January. I'm not saying UNC is going back on anything. I'm just saying the way things were in January aren't the way things are now in April, and teams can move on just like players. You showed up, you were second on the depth chart. Well, now you're third, you're fourth, you're fifth, you're third, and we're looking for two more to add, and you're going to drop down. We're back in the portal. We're spending money. It is not as, it's very obvious players didn't want the good old, hey, I make a commitment and I stay somewhere for 4 or 5 years, and I bleed the alma mater and the school colors. I get them tattooed on my arm. That's not how players are operating. So you're not going to get the loyalty that comes with that from the teams, right? Schools are not going to say, well, you're not developing at the rate we want, but we're committed to you like you're committed to us, so let's keep grinding. Let's find a way. It's going to be, well, you're not developing the way we wanted to, so we're going to bring in 2 other guys to put over you on the depth chart. We're going to be as cutthroat with you as players are with teams. And even doubly, triply so when Bill Belichick takes over the program, and what's his calling card? What's his selling point? We're going to be the 33rd NFL team. That's what he's recruiting off of. That's what he was saying in his introductory press conference the first time he talked to the media, when he brought out the sweatshirt that he wore, or his dad wore way back when, and he said that his first words were beat Duke. At that press conference, he was saying, we're going to run this like a pro program. Well, guess what? In the pros, you get cut. There's no, well, we're committed to you for 4 years. You're gone, buddy. We'll give you your guaranteed money and see you. Do you know what Bill Belichick was known for in the NFL? Cutting bait quickly. What do I mean by that? He drafted a second rounder, cut him before their second season started. Partly because he had the job security to do it, right? Other coaches wish they could have admitted they were wrong and cut guys that quickly, but they're like, I don't want to tell the owner that we evaluated that poorly last draft, and I don't have a bunch of Super Bowl rings to make my job secure. So he did it. He did it. And now it's coming to college. A guy from Purdue, by the way, Ryan Brown, this is not a knock on Ryan Brown. Good player. He had one unbelievable game this past year. Didn't start, he wasn't the start at the beginning of the year, but he had like a 300-yard passing, 100 yards rushing, 3 or 4 touchdown game this year against a Power 5 opponent. Broke records of some kind for Purdue. When he committed to UNC, and I put it out in my group chats, do you know what a lot of the response was? This is the best UNC could do? Because everybody was just expecting Bill Belichick to go get 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. They got a guy that was coming off the bench at Purdue, and everybody was like, this is it? Well, turns out it might have been a placeholder. Turns out we got him for now in case we can't get someone better. Because that's what you do in the pros. You sign an undrafted free agent. If at cut down day another team cuts a guy that you like better at their position, see you, undrafted free agent. We're bringing in this other guy that hasn't been grinding with us. Do you know what I really wish would have happened? And we got teased with it. I wish we would have got off-season hard knocks for UNC. Because these would have been the decisions that would have been fascinating to watch them make. And I'm not even saying maybe it's Ryan Brown's decision, but my guess is the thing that changed between January and now is he could read some writing on the wall. Something changed where he looked around and went, I might not be doing what I thought I was going to be doing when I committed here in January.
I might be third on the depth chart.
Yeah, I might be a depth player here, and I don't intend on being a depth player this year.
I mean, that's the reality of all this, though, is that this is, again, a player that arrived in January, did spring practice, and already says, I'm going to look for something else. And here's the thing as well. Bill Belichick could have told him, hey, look, if you stick around, you're probably going to be third on the depth chart. If you want to go play, I might contact and help you find somewhere. But in all seriousness, if you want to play, it's just not going to be here.
By the way, we have X amount of dollars to spend, and we're going to get a quarterback. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close here. Don't forget Hockey Night in Carolina. You can listen to Canes taking on Montreal tonight. Matter of fact, that's what we're going to start Overdrive with. Little look ahead to that game and the unusual nature of that game with the playoff standings sitting the way they are. Enjoy that. Enjoy Stormwatch. Enjoy the game. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov, tick-tack, tied, and Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save made, rebound! Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I order the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time.